Long Fei needs. Long Fei needs incomparable need. The strongest boss in the Dark Forest is the Raven King. Other than him, I'm afraid there's no other boss stronger than him. The past Dark Canyon is the past Sea Devil Emperor, and the past Sea Devil Emperor is the past within the Demon Sea. Long Fei thought about it and said to himself, there must be a strong demon beast in the Demon Sea. As long as we kill 1 or 2 prehistoric sea demons, we will be able to produce quite a few holy artifact and we can exchange them for 8 million points. Ice and fire rushed out. Long Fei pointed to the Demon Sea and said, let's go, Demon Sea. There was only one way to obtain dragon blood. Exchange. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to find. Where did dragon's blood come from? Dragon Domain. Where the Dragon Domain was, even the ghosts did not know. If they knew, Long Fei would have completed the SSS rank quest long ago, ordering the Dragon Clan to trample the entire Heaven Sect. The point exchange was his only option. Long Fei didn't want to use his existing holy artifact to exchange for points, he could only use the Berserk boss to get his own holy artifact. One day later, Long Fei stood on the side of the Devil's Sea and looked at the limitless and boundless ocean, muttering, there's only 2 days left. With such a large area, where am I going to find a boss? It was truly bitter. He was regretting that he should have left some holy artifact behind to prepare from time to time. Xiaobai said, Master, I have a way. Long Fei immediately said, speak. Xiaobai said, let's enter the deep sea area first, and then release the ice and fire. Let's let him fly close to the surface of the sea, and use him as bait. Bing Hua said bitterly, why am I the bait? Xiaobai grinned excitedly, because you're a dragon, you have no hair on you, and a bite is meat, I'm different, my entire body is fur, eating a mouthful is not good, hey. Not waiting for the fire and ice to refuse. Xiaobai then said, ice and fire. Yi Zichen glared. The ice and fire immediately shriveled up and said unwillingly, fine. Xiaobai smiled and said to Long Fei, Master, it's done. Long Fei stared at Xiaobai, and said, you really know how to bully people. Since you came up with this idea, you can implement it yourself. Xiaobai. Long Fei asked, what's wrong? Do you have any objections? Long Fei's eyes stared wide, and said, if you have any objections, then I'm going to use you to play the Sunflower Encyclopedia that is proud of the martial arts world. Xiaobai immediately said, I will be the bait, and I am willing to sacrifice myself for Master's great goal. It was extremely painful. And then, Xiaobai walked to the surface of the water. He was already at level 10, and he had a slight grasp on the power of the wolf god. Standing on the water, it was like walking on flat ground. Long Fei stood on the back of the fire and ice while also flying close to the surface of the water. He had never been to the Demon Sea before, so it was best to be careful. No matter who it was, Long Fei would ensure his safety. Another day passed. Apart from a few low-level sea demons, there were no other boss-level sea demons. The highest level sea demons were only at level 6 and had not even reached level 7. However, compared to the demon beast in the forest, the siren was much stronger. Moreover, Long Fei was still only on the surface of the sea, his cultivation would take at most 10 minutes to change into air at the seabed. He wouldn't be able to hold on for too long, but there were a lot of fierce beasts in the mountain and sea scripture, but the beast transformation system worked immediately, so he was not sure if he could turn into an underwater fierce beast. Rumble. Rumble. In the distance, thunderclouds billowed, lightning raged, and the sky quickly darkened. The storm is coming. Long Fei looked at the overturning sea surface in front of him and said, Xiaobai, do you want to return to War Pet Space? Let's avoid this storm first. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish, Xiaobai's nose twitched, and he immediately said, Master, that isn't a storm, it's a giant-level beast. Boss. Long Fei frowned, looking at the raging ocean surface in front of him, he became instantly excited. Ha ha ha. I finally found it. The surface of the sea was surging. Waves after waves of attacks came out. The closer they got, the stronger the aura of the siren became. It came crushing out again and again. Xiaobai said again, Master, it's not just one. I think there are 2 of them. That's not right. He even wants someone by his side. What a strong aura. Xiao Bai's senses were far more sensitive than Long Fei's. He frowned and said faintly, "Master, this fellow might not be from the southern domain. The aura on his body is completely different from the auras of the martial practitioners from the southern domain." Long Fei said, "Who cares who he is, the boss is still mine." The last day. If he didn't raise all of the 1 million points, then the mission with the dragon's blood would fail, and the 10 million experience points would be. Moreover, he will also lose information on the feather spirit. Charge over. Ming. Xiao Bai and the ice and fire added together quickly pushed their way to the center of the wave. The center of the huge wave emerged. One youth was like a flood dragon in the water. His agile body jumped back and forth between the two gigantic sea demons. In his hand was a weapon like water. He landed on the head of a level tiger shark and stared at the gigantic monster sea goblin in front of him. His heart skipped a beat and he linked it to the tiger shark at his feet. Then, the tiger shark sank and disappeared into the whirlpool of seawater. The tiger shark was his war pet. It was a prehistoric beast, but compared to the sea demons of the monsters of the past, the tiger shark did not have much of an advantage. The youth hovered in midair as he stared at the siren. "I don't believe that I can't subdue you." At this moment, a voice came from the sky and said, "You still have 10 minutes. If you are unable to subdue him within that 10 minutes, your test will fail. In addition, let me remind you, there are 2 demon beasts and 1 person forcing their way in." Then, the sound disappeared. The youth frowned, his heart secretly moved, forcefully forcing my enlargement stroke. And then, the youth muttered to himself, "The power of the heavenly water is for me to use." Hualala. Within the circumference of several hundred miles, the sea began to move erratically. Rumble. A huge wave of seawater rose into the sky. The water blade in his hand moved, and the sea water turned into a vicious beast. It roared as it heavily charged forward. At the same time, the tiger shark that had disappeared rushed out from the bottom of the sea like a harpoon. Double pincer attack. Rumble. With a flip of the sky, the gigantic siren emerges from the depths of its body. With a sweep of its tail in midair, it directly shatters the gigantic beast condensed from the heavenly water. The youth's eyes darkened. Again, it was also at this time. Long Fei arrived and looked at the gigantic sea goblin that was flying in the sky, his face gloomy. Claw Emperor? Golden light flash. Level. It was a giant monster just like the one that was on the throne of the Dragon King, and this monster was even bigger and even more brutal than the one on the dragon throne. Long Fei grinned, "I want to kill him." Chapter 5. Speaking of something, from the start, Hai Yang had rushed forward to the 1st of March to say something very, very clear. But why would there always be people stirring up trouble in the circles? Why am I not trustworthy? Would you please look at those flamers and spray again, please? No, 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 no. Table of contents, 8_84_1923566730. It was the last day. If he didn't hurry, it would be too late. It was the last day. If he didn't hurry, it would be too late. Thus, Long Fei did not care about the young man who could control the water. He had to kill this Aogu emperor now. Xiao Bai. Ice and fire. The two of them shouted at the same time, "Understood." The aura of the wolf god on Xiao Bai's body stirred and a huge face immediately appeared in the sky. The wolf god's spear locked onto the imperial claw and directly smashed downwards. Crack. The outer space power was like that of a lightning bolt striking down from the sky. During this period of time, Xiao Bai's strength had increased a little. A few thousand spirit stones could be considered as not having been eaten for nothing. The youth frowned and shouted, "Who are you? Don't you know this guy is mine?" It was obvious that he was somewhat angry. This was his test, and he had to kill this imperial claw within 10 minutes. Otherwise, his test would be a failure. Long Fei rode on his ice and fire as he rose into the air and said lightly, I know it's yours, but I'll help you kill it. Whoosh, whoosh. S idea that was linked to the ice and fire was released with a move of his idea S ice and fire 9 heavens. First stage, burning ice. Boom. The sky rotated, and the 9 heavens rotated out layer by layer. Finally, a beam of light descended from the sky, and struck the Ao Huang Emperor at the same time as the wolf god's lance. Rumble. Rumble. Greater than sign 2 damage values burst out, but the Imperial Claw Emperor's health was also shown. Looking at that long bloody groove, Long Fei was about to go crazy. He was so excited that he was about to go crazy. 30 million HP boss. It must be a level boss. Ha ha ha. If I kill him, I will definitely explode. Long Fei was extremely excited. Second preparation. Prepare your second skill, ready to fire at any time. Ice and Fire Thunderbolt. Fire. Before the 9 layered heavens disappeared, the second layer began to revolve like crazy. 8 seconds later, the second layer came rolling down like an enormous machine. Crack. The sky seemed like it was about to explode as an even more powerful beam of light bombarded down. Rumble. Another heavy strike landed on the body of the Imperial Claw on the surface of the water. One was a critical hit. The youth looked at Long Fei, who was in the sky, and muttered a word, abnormal. His eyes flashed with excitement. What a strong power. He had never seen this kind of power before. However, this Ao Huang was his target, and this was a monster that the Lin clan had raised for an examination over 100 years ago. 1 wolf, 1 dragon, and 1 person pounced on him like a madman. The youth loudly said, "This is my assessment mission. Can you leave?" Time was running out. If he couldn't pass the examination, then the youth was slightly anxious. Long Fei said loudly, "I'm sorry, I must kill him now, or else I won't be able to make it in time." The boss had to be stolen. In the game, Long Fei followed the rules of the game. Other people would usually not interfere with the bosses that they found, but today was a little special. He had been searching for a boss for 3 days straight, but he still hadn't found one. If he had missed it again, his Dragon Blood quest would have failed. Long Fei had no choice. He could only rob them. The youth was somewhat angry as he said, "If that's the case, then you must be careful." Finished. The youth's eyebrows tightened, and his hands formed a crazy seal. The seawater around him began to wildly churn. Heavenly energy, water force, heavenly water fusion, 10,000 beasts condensation. Open for me. Rumble. One after another, gigantic beasts that were over 100 meters tall rushed out from the surface of the sea, forming an army made up entirely of seawater. This power. Too terrifying. Everywhere his gaze passed, he saw huge beasts. It let out a deafening roar, and even the Imperial Claw let out a trembling roar. Long Fei's heart tensed up. F***K. It's an earth-shattering power. The youth reminded him once again, "I'll remind you one more time. If you leave now, you'll be in a rush." Long Fei grinned and laughed excitedly, saying, "Come then." The youth was stunned for a moment. He also became excited and said, "Then be careful." He didn't know why. The young man had a very good impression of Long Fei. This feeling was very special. Long Fei was the same as well. He was more concerned with the power that the youth had, who could withstand such a huge array made of beasts. Invincible in the water. Yang Huang ancestor's voice sounded, God's water tribe, the overlord of water. This young man. It's not simple. Long Fei's heart secretly tensed up. God's water tribe? Tianshui. It's as if I've heard of these 2 words somewhere. He is indeed not simple. It's not simple at all. Long Fei, who was so angry that a huge beast was roaring from the surroundings, frowned. How can this kind of power be simple? I can't care so much anymore. 3-rate peerless technique. Boom. Long Fei made a grasping motion with his right hand and the dark dragon Salia flew out. Then, Long Fei's idea sank and the dragon Salia fiercely lashed out. With a flick of its body, it immediately formed a tornado above the sea level. The true Qi rushed in and roared loudly, tornado berserk / whoosh whoosh whoosh. As the tornado grew larger, Long Fei made a grasping motion with his left hand and the god's devil blade appeared. His body started to spin rapidly. Boom. Boom. The dark dragon Salya energy and the blood-red god's devil blade energy crazily interweaved and formed a huge tornado. Those huge beasts that charged forward were immediately crushed into water. Waves after waves of crashes. The youth's eyes shined as he excitedly said, "So strong. However, I'm stronger." The youth moved his finger and a drop of blood fell onto the water. The aura he was exuding suddenly changed. Boom. The water swallowed him. Half a second later, the sea began to shake violently. Furthermore, the entire surface of the sea was tilting. This was not overturning the sky, but overturning the sea. The youth was in the sea. He looked at Long Fei and laughed. "Take another hit of mine." Long Fei's gaze tightened as he looked at the huge wave that was swept up. It covered the sky and covered the sun. Master, run. Xiao Bai and ice and fire became nervous. The surface of the sea was too huge, and it still covered the entire area. Long Fei's breathing grew heavy. Whoosh. The draw slasher flew out. Sister-in-law, 1-/ health strongest upgrade system. Long Fei's true chi moved, and rushed into the center of the draw slasher. He closed his eyes and slowly let out a breath of air, calming down his heart, and in a second, Long Fei's idea exploded, Little Li's flying daggers. Break. He stabbed his blade into the huge wave. Chapter 18_8419235671. The draw slasher moved. The draw slasher moved. The moment it stabbed into the sky-overturning wave, the true chi that Long Fei poured in suddenly exploded, exploding. The draw slasher was also suddenly 10,000 times larger. The bloody light and the saber shadows wreaked havoc in the seawater. Rumble. 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 A deafening roar came from the giant wave that covered the entire sky. It continued to explode as the youth in the water continued to retreat. Finally. Phut. The youth spat out a mouthful of blood. His entire body shot out from the huge wave and fell back. However, he did not sink into the sea. He is the god's water tribe. He had been able to control the power of water since birth. Even if they died, their bodies wouldn't sink to the bottom. Long Fei let out a sigh of relief and asked guiltily, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine, I'm not going to die yet." The youth didn't wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth. Instead, he looked at Long Fei with incomparable excitement and muttered, "You're really strong. Among the younger generation, you are the strongest I've ever seen." There was only excitement in his eyes. He had always thought that he was a peerless genius. In the water, he was a peerless existence, but today, he had finally witnessed it. The youth looked at Long Fei and started laughing excitedly. "Awesome, this is too awesome, ha ha ha." Long Fei also excitedly laughed out loud, ha ha ha. At this moment, the Ao Huang Emperor, who was always being ignored, was enraged. He flung his huge body and opened his bloody mouth, biting towards the youth. He was furious. As if to say, "I am the main character." Long Fei's face changed. The youth had just been severely injured, so if the Ao Huang were to attack him at this moment. Teleport. Shua. Long Fei rushed out and landed on the surface of the sea. Without waiting for the claws to fall, the dragon-slaying slash fell from Long Fei's hands, Dark Fury Dragon Slash. Buzz. Inside the dragon Salya, a bit of Dragon God's profound chi fell. Dark Dragon God's eyes slightly opened, the image of the Dark Dragon God on the back of the dragon Salya shot out, directly slashing towards the Claws Emperor. Boom. The dark energy blade came slashing down. It directly cut a long bloody wound on the back of the Ao Huang, fresh blood bursting out in a straight line. Woo! The Imperial Claw let out a painful scream, and immediately dove into the water. "Thank you. However, you are underestimating me." The youth gave an excited smile as he dove into the water like a torpedo. "You want to escape? Get the hell up here." An angry roar erupted from the depths of the sea. Next, the surface of the sea rose up, and the Imperial Claw was flung out of the water. Taking advantage of that moment, Long Fei flew out, Dragon Chop. 480 slashes. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk in midair, the black lightning danced wildly. That Imperial Claw was unmoving, as if it was floating in mid-air. The youngster broke through the surface of the water and looked at Long Fei, who was furiously slashing in the air, his face filled with shock. So strong, so strong. I never thought that there would be such a strong person in the Demon Sea. This is too exciting. Admiration, incomparable admiration. Long Fei's final slash smashed the Ao Huang heavily onto the surface of the sea. The dragon Salia withdrew its claws and moved its fists, mountain hit fists. The shadow of the large power King Kong ape superimposed onto it, and heavily smashed it. He blasted the imperial claw into the water. At this moment, the last sliver of blood on its head disappeared. Long Fei exhaled a breath of air. Release your striking energy value, explode. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying Imperial Claw. You have obtained 1 experience point, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Claw Divine Trident. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Claw God Whip. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining Ao Huang Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Imperial Claw Heart. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Jade Wave Wheel. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward from the Mountain Sea Beast Transformation Mode system. Rewards: Beast Transformation into Imperial Claw. The system sounded out continuously. The last prompt startled Long Fei, and he thought to himself, the Beast Transformation Mode system is random, the reward is specific, which means that the strange beast in my next beast transformation will definitely be the Ao Huang Emperor, the one I just killed. Heh. Awesome. This Claw Emperor was extremely powerful. If the youth didn't come out from the water, he definitely wouldn't have been able to kill it. At the same time, Long Fei took a look at the items that burst out. Phew. 3 holy artifacts should be enough. Exchange points. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for using Claw Divine Trident to exchange for credit point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for using God's Claw Whip to exchange for credit point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for using Jade Wave Wheel to exchange for credit point. 803 points for the 100,000 point. 3 holy artifact. Long Fei muttered in his heart, my liver hurts. Moreover, the holy artifact that Long Fei had released did not even dare to look at their stats, because he was afraid that it would see those powerful stats and his liver would feel even more pain. The idea moved again. Ding. Dragon blood. Ding. Player Long Fei has successfully exchanged 4 dragon blood, deducted 8 million points. Looking at his over 8 million points disappearing in an instant, not only was Long Fei's liver pain excruciating, there was no place in his body that was not painful at all. It was too unbearable. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for completing the Blood of the Dragon quest. You have gained 10 million experience. You have gained True Chi to 100,000 points, 10,000 points, free of charge. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining information on Feather of the Spirit, Yuling Island. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the Feather of the Spirit quest. Mission level, SS time of mission, 6 days task reward, 100 million experience points, 500,000 true chi, special prize once, 3 times at least. As expected. Long Fei's mind stirred, he became excited, 100 million experience. After completing the mission I can immediately level up, but it's just that. Where is the Yuling Island? At this moment, the youth landed beside Long Fei, looked at him carefully, and said, I know where Yuling Island is. Huh. Long Fei looked at the youth. Suddenly, there was a yellow floating above the youth's head. This was the symbol of a mission. Long Fei moved and clicked it. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the quest. Subdue Lin Yusheng. Mission level, S, table of contents, / float *, life. Task reward, 10,000 experience points, 1,000 true chi, special reward. Long Fei became excited. Haha. Is that one of the King Kong of the 8 King Kong systems? Chapter 2 Lin Yusheng, your god, S-Water King Kong has appeared. 8_84 19 2356732. In this instant. In this instant. Long Fei finally understood why the word sky water was so familiar. Because, amongst the 8 King Kong systems, there was a King Kong called the God, Water King Kong. No wonder the ancestor said he wasn't simple. Which of the 8 Vajra is simple? Li Yuanbar of the Titan God blood vein, born with godly strength, is a holy King Kong. The reincarnation of the holy Buddha, the power of evil, the reincarnation of hell, called the demon fighter Vajra. Then what kind of power would he have? Long Fei saw the abnormal excitement in the youth's heart, just like a gay man seeing a gay man. Lin Yusheng took a step back, and said, "I'm not gay." Zhong Xian's body shuddered. He muttered to himself, "Does this expert have any special hobbies?" Long Fei's face was full of excitement as he said, "I'm not gay either, hey." Her smile was very vulgar, really very vulgar, as though she wanted to swallow Lin Yusheng whole. Lin Yusheng took another step back, maintaining a distance from Long Fei. He said, "Aren't you from the Demon Sea? What are you going to the Yuling Island for?" It was also at this time. Rumble. There was a loud noise in the sky as a huge wave appeared on the surface of the sea. The huge wave turned around and condensed into a huge water column. An angry elder stood on top of the water column as he said with a deep voice, "The assessment has failed." Lin Yusheng knelt down and said sincerely, "I am sorry, Patriarch. I have disappointed you." The elder was still furious and said, "You have disgraced the entire God's Water tribe. Not only did you act as you please during the assessment, you even colluded with an outsider. What do you take the assessment to be? What did you do to the immortals of the God Emperor Academy?" Lin Yusheng, from now on, you are no longer a disciple of the Lin family of Qianshui, and the Lin family no longer has a disciple like you. Lin Yusheng's expression changed, and he said, "Patriarch, I will definitely give my all next time. I will definitely pass the God Emperor Academy's entrance exam. Humph." The old man waved his sleeves and interrupted, "Next time? You won't have a next time. God Emperor Academy's immortal won't come to the God's Water tribe anymore. Lin Yusheng, you have truly disappointed me. Pain. Looking forward to 100 years, only then did the immortals of the God Emperor Academy come. They had to waste everything for this day, but he had failed. The hope for the rise of the God's Water tribe had failed once again. Lin Yusheng had been entrusted with too much hope. Long Fei took a step forward and apologized sincerely. "Senior, all of this was because of me. If I didn't appear, he would have definitely passed the examination. If there's anything I can do, I'm willing to do it with all my might." The old man looked at Long Fei coldly and said, "What can a low-level war master realm practitioner like you do? Of the 5 great regions of Sky Martial Continent, the weakest existence in your South Horizon region, what do you think you can do? Can you help God's Water tribe rise again? Can you help Lin Yusheng enter the God Emperor Academy? Can you?" After being asked so many times, Long Fei was unable to answer any of them. Indeed. He couldn't do it now. He couldn't help with these 2 things. How could the God's Water tribe rise to power? There was nothing he could do. God Emperor Academy? This was the first time Long Fei had heard of this academy. Furthermore, his heart was shaking because the recruitment criteria for the God Emperor Academy were too high. Defeating the Ao Huang Empire was only a preliminary test, and it was only to the extent of obtaining the standard to actually take the God Emperor Academy's test. Then how strong was this academy? What came was an immortal. Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart. Lin Yusheng said, "I do not blame anyone. I am indeed not ready yet. Patriarch, please do not expel me from the God's Water tribe, I beg you." "Humph. You still have the face to beg me?" The old man became even angrier and shouted, "This is the decision of the elders of the God's Water tribe. Go, the gates of the Heavenly Water Island will never open wide for you." And then, the stream of water shattered, and the old man fell into the sea, disappearing without a trace. Deep under the sea, returning to the Heavenly Water Island, Patriarch Fire thought to himself, "Yusheng, hurry up and leave this place. The farther the better. You are the hope of the clan you are born with. You must make the clan rise to prominence once more. Everything is up to you. The assessment, right? He didn't even have one last thing to rely on. The God's Water tribe was facing the threat of clan extermination. Lin Yusheng had the best talent and was their last hope. This was the only way he could guarantee his survival. Lin Yusheng clenched his fists tightly, his teeth chattering as he kneeled on the ground motionlessly. He hated himself for being useless. Why can't he complete the mission within the time limit and pass the examination? Why did you disappoint the family? He knew that the entire clan placed their hopes on him, but he did not succeed. Long Fei stepped forward and said gently, "I'm sorry." Lin Yusheng smiled bitterly. "It doesn't matter to you. Even if I pass the examination this time, I will also fail the God Emperor Academy's examination. I am not ready yet." But Lin Yusheng looked at the sky and laughed bitterly. "I no longer have the chance to prepare. The clan no longer wants me. The God's Water tribe no longer wants me." Long Fei looked at the depressed Lin Yusheng, who picked him up from the ground, and asked, "I won't say anything else, I'll just ask you, do you want to return to the clan? Do you want the clan to rise to prominence again? Do you want your clansmen to burn you again?" Lin Yusheng was very close to Long Fei. F***ck. "That's not the point," Long Fei said. "The main point is, do you want to?" Lin Yusheng nodded. "Yes. However, can you stay away from me? I'm really not gay." Lin Yusheng turned her two cheeks to the side, showing a painful expression, and said, "I'll at most let you kiss me once. This is the limit of my tolerance." "Damn!" Long Fei scolded. Lin Yusheng immediately tightened her chrysanthemum and said, "Plugging is absolutely impossible, if you dare." Brother, can you not be like this? I'm really not gay. Long Fei. Long Fei was extremely puzzled. When did I become a gay man? However, seeing Lin Yusheng like this, Long Fei was relieved. To be able to tell from his resolute gaze that he would definitely succeed in the next examination, he will definitely make the God's Water tribe rise in power. Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "Take me to Yuling Island first." Lin Yusheng looked into the distance, sighed, and said, "All right, since I'm going all out, I'll go to the Yuling Island and die on the island." Strongest upgrade system. What's the situation if he dies up there? Lin Yusheng said, "That's the Deathland." Long Fei thought, the difficulty of the SS rank mission is indeed different, but when can you let me gather all 8 Great King Kong? Ancestor, what kind of powerful energy does this fellow have that has yet to awaken? Chapter 38_841923567333. I'm not sure. The God's Water tribe is considered the most mysterious race. They are able to combine the powers of heaven and earth into one, and can control the powers of 10,000 water. You saw it earlier, he was able to turn the sea water into a giant monster that can attack. I'm afraid no one can control water better than them. The Yang Huang ancestor said indifferently, "As for the power in his body, I'm not too sure either. He probably hasn't awakened yet." Long Fei no longer asked. The thing he was thinking about now was how to subdue Lin Yusheng. What gave him a headache was Lin Yusheng thought that he was gay and kept a distance from. "Do I look like a gay?" Long Fei was puzzled. Yang Huang ancestor laughed. "Just now you saw the look in his eyes that is full of vulgarity. He really looks like a gay man." Long Fei. They didn't say anything along the way. They traveled for 3 full days. Lin Yusheng stopped and looked at a huge island in front of him. Long Fei looked at the gigantic island in front of him. Rather than calling it an island, it would be more accurate to call it a continent. Lin Yusheng said slightly, "The Yuling Island is the center of the Demon Sea. It is connected to another continent, and is also called the Immortal Domain. If you want to enter the Immortal Domain, you must go through this place. This is the most important place, and most of the people here will come to take a stroll and take a break. No one can fly over the Demon Sea, nor can they do it with a flying beast. They will definitely pass through Yuling Island to rest. It is also because this is how to make this place the most competitive place in the world, more intense than any other place, because everyone in Yuling Island wants to enter the Immortal Domain, and no one is willing to have another competitor in the Immortal Domain. This place is known as Deathland. It was rumored that Yuling Island wasn't as big as this place originally, but was slowly filled up with corpses later on. Lin Yusheng slightly said. At the same time, he looked at Long Fei and asked, "Now, can you tell me why you came to Yuling Island?" Long Fei did not hide anything, and said, "I am looking for the feather spirit." Lin Yusheng's brows tightened, and asked curiously, "Feather? I've never heard of it." "No matter what. Let's go to the island first. The Heavenly Water Clan forbids us from going to the Yuling Island, now." Lin Yusheng smiled bitterly and said, "Let's go." He was expelled from the God's Water tribe. Lin Yusheng felt very bad in his heart. Long Fei patted his shoulder and said, "Don't worry, God's Water tribe will be proud of you in the future." Lin Yusheng suddenly took a step back and said, "Brother, it's better if we keep our distance." Long Fei. Lin Yusheng left first. She wanted to cry but at the same time, wanted to laugh. How can we subdue him this way? The annual competition for the God Emperor Academy's qualifications has begun. As long as you are strong enough, as long as you dare come, the qualifications to take the test in God Emperor Academy will be yours. Ha ha ha. In the center of Yuling Island. It was a huge coliseum filled with people of all kinds of races. Humans, demons, devils, and the Buddhist saint. They were all cheering. As long as you become the last person, you will be the champion, and you will be placed in the God Emperor Academy's assessment. There are no rules here. Regardless of life or death. In the center of the beast battle arena, a dwarf was shouting excitedly. There was only one circular arena and it was surrounded by seawater. The tiger shark was swimming in the sea, the triangular fin on its back was moving back and forth slowly. These tiger shark were all prehistoric beasts. As long as a drop of their blood flowed down, they would go crazy. The dwarf shouted again, "There is only an hour left. Who will be this year's champion? Let's look forward to it." Then, the dwarf wriggled his butt and walked down to the edge of the ring and fell into the water with a splash. The dwarf's expression changed. "This is bad." Screams rang out from the seats around them. Ah! At the same time, the tiger shark in the water attacked. In less than half a second, they turned into a ball of blood, with not even a bone remaining. The entire stands were filled with shock, enough to hear a pin drop. They were instantly killed. Aren't those tiger shark too strong? Would you like to reach War Emperor realm? Too terrifying. If he fell into the water, there would only be one result. He would die. Just as everyone was shocked, at the only entrance to the stage, the dwarf laughed mischievously and said, "Ha ha ha. My big brother was swallowed by the tiger shark, now it is my turn to be the host. There is only 1 hour left, everyone is very enthusiastic about registering and recommending. There is only one God Emperor Academy left, the only one left." Everyone looked over. He was clearly the same person as the dwarf from before. But just now, he just fell into the water. It was too strange. Many experts could tell that this dwarf was not simple. It's not as dangerous as you say. Long Fei looked around him. It was a field of silence, filled with the sounds of birds chirping and the fragrance of flowers. Lin Yusheng also muttered, "Could it be that the legends are all lies?" After walking for more than 10 minutes, he still did not see anyone. He did not sense any dangerous auras, not even a single demon beast. The two of them relaxed their vigilance by quite a bit. "There's someone ahead." Suddenly, Lin Yusheng saw a person standing on the side of the road in front of him. He immediately became excited and said, "I'll go ask around, I'll definitely find out about it." Long Fei said, "Be careful." Long Fei looked at the man standing on the side of the road in the distance, and felt that something was amiss. Why does this look a little like a scarecrow? Lin Yusheng ran over and asked, "Excuse me. Huh? Why is he a scarecrow? She's dressed so like a person." Lin Yusheng turned his head to look at the Long Fei in the distance and said, "He's a scarecrow." Long Fei's eyes shook as he shouted loudly, "Careful." Lin Yusheng muttered, "He's just a scarecrow, what is there to be afraid of?" At the same time, his expression also changed abruptly, as he looked at Long Fei and shouted out, "Be careful." Boom. The scarecrow moved, its 2 eyes flashed with a strange light, and a stream of power was released from its hands, enveloping Lin Yusheng in a black mist. The sky darkened and Lin Yusheng simply did not have enough time to defend, so he was directly hit. He fell unconscious. At the same time, just as Long Fei was worrying over Lin Yusheng, a towering ancient tree next to him moved. Baidu search, half afloat bam, Long Fei's back was hit, and his entire person was sent flying. The towering tree moved, and the branches rolled up, binding Long Fei. It let out a strange laugh. The scarecrow also laughed strangely at Lin Yusheng. Ha ha ha. This time, I can buy some money. Chapter 48_841923566734. This is not a game. This is not a game. Furthermore, it was not the League of Legends. However, even in his dreams, Long Fei had never thought that there would be a scarecrow in this world, and a treant. This was completely against common sense. Long Fei was also trapped. Bam! Bam! Those who have just come ashore should be those who are heading towards the immortal domain. What? Only so little money? Is there something wrong with that? No matter what, I should just give them more. Sure, you're awesome, right? I'm afraid it's not enough. In a daze, Long Fei heard a few voices conversing. A pot-bellied man suddenly said like a slave owner, drag them down, then when the battle starts, throw them into the water to feed the sharks and make those tiger shark become excited. Yes sir. Ha ha ha. The hour is up. The dwarf shouted loudly, now we have the God Emperor Academy Immortals. As soon as he finished, the entire stands suddenly became still. A white-browed elder stood in mid-air, quietly landing in the air above the beast battling arena, and said slightly, victory, I can take him into the God Emperor Academy for the assessment, there is only one chance. Immortal chi swirled around him, making him look incredibly powerful. Is this the immortal domain's innate rancor? Look at the unique aura on his body. Seems like there really are people from the God Emperor Academy in this Yuling Island. I want to participate. God Emperor Academy is the #1 academy in the immortal domain, and is also one of the top academies in the Sky Marshal continent. Those that can enter are all geniuses amongst geniuses, and just the examination quota alone can reach the value of 10 million spirit stones. This is just the examination quota. If I want to participate, God Emperor Academy's examination quota must be mine. While they were talking, whoosh, whoosh, countless rays of light fell down from the stands and no one was moved at first. They even started to suspect if there really was a spot for the God Emperor Academy's examination. Now, they did not have to doubt it at all, the immortal stage experts of the God Emperor Academy had already appeared. Was there still a need to worry? Countless youths landed in the center of the arena. They all said, let's begin. The dwarf host was immediately surrounded. He continuously retreated and fell, his movements extremely comical. In the end, another careless fall into the water. Those tiger shark bit at it crazily. After half a second, a bloody bubble appeared and there was no longer any reaction. Ha ha ha. Boss, second brother is dead. Now it's my turn to fight. At the entrance, the dwarf appeared again. It was obviously a person. The disciples on the stage completely ignored him and said, let's start quickly. We can't wait any longer. Exactly. Hurry up, the God Emperor Academy's spot is mine. The people on the stage were clamoring non-stop. At the same time, there were quite a few experts in the stands quietly waiting. With a sneer on their faces, they silently thought to themselves, a bunch of idiots, rushing to their death so early in the morning. The dwarf gave a small smile and said, there's no need to worry, boss. Second brother has already spoken for so long, at least allow me to say a few more words. The rule of the competition is that there are no rules. The last survivor will be rewarded. Remember, it's the last person, and there's only one spot for the reward. Do you understand? The eager competitors were already rubbing their hands together, unable to wait any longer. They were all geniuses from different places. The only reason they came to this place was to train in the immortal domain. If they were able to enter the God Emperor Academy, then that would be their lifelong dream. These people were extremely talented. At the same time, another characteristic was that most of these people were very, very rich. Rich. There was a holy artifact. There were all kinds of blood vein. There was a huge amount of spirit stones. If all these treasures were gathered together, then, in the darkness, each one of them revealed a sinister smile and said coldly, "Looks like we can make a huge profit again, here. Island Lord, this batch of people are not bad. I've already investigated a few people. They are all disciples from large sects and big families. They all have all kinds of strange treasures on them, and this time they are going to earn big." The leader smiled sinisterly, "With these treasures, I will be able to refine." After saying that, he did not finish his sentence, but said coldly, "It's about time to throw in the bait." "Yes, sir." Hualala. Hualala. 2 pots of ice-cold water splashed down, and Long Fei and Lin Yusheng woke up. Lin Yusheng still shouted out loudly, "Be careful of the treant behind you." "What is this place?" Lin Yusheng's face tensed up. Long Fei said slightly, "We were probably captured, and then sold here, we just don't know why they arrested us." "Ah, ha, ha. The reason for capturing you is very simple." A pot-bellied man walked out with a ferocious smile and said, "Then I'll send you all to heaven." As soon as he finished, his voice was low as he said, "Hang their cages." Hualala. Hualala. The sound of a chain being pulled rang out. Long Fei looked around and saw that they were all in a huge iron cage. Inside the cage, there were more than 10 people, not only him and Lin Yusheng. "What's going on?" Lin Yusheng frowned. A man in the cage said softly, "We are going to be thrown into the tiger shark's pond right in front of the bait. We are going to make those tiger shark become unusually excited and make them even more crazy." "Tiger shark pool?" Long Fei's heart trembled. "Ha ha ha. We are going to die, we are going to die. I didn't expect the magnificent me to be here. I didn't expect that I would be the #1 genius of the training hall. To die in this place, sigh. I am still the #1 genius of the fierce tiger sect. So what? The Yuling Island is a huge conspiracy. What bullsh *T God Emperor Academy's examination quota, it's just a huge scam, we were all tricked." Lin Yusheng looked at Long Fei, and asked, "What do we do?" Long Fei said slightly, "Don't be anxious, let's see what we'll encounter first." At this moment, the door was opened by a blinding light. 2 huge iron cages were pushed out. It was also at this time. The dwarf ordered, "Let the battle commence. Throw the iron cage." The tiger shark was extremely fierce. Upon seeing the iron cage, it continuously jumped out of the water, as if it was injected with chicken blood. In the stands, the scarecrow and tree man giggled, pointing at Long Fei and Lin Yusheng in the iron cage. They laughed out loud, "Those 2 people we captured, ha ha ha." Long Fei's gaze tensed up, the idea moved, "Give me your blade." "Shua. Equals half carat float # life carat." The dragon Salia landed in his hands. The scarecrows and the dryads. "Blast you all, give me a golden body, you motherfucker." Chapter 5. Thank you Ming Yang, Big Yo-Yo, Little Egg, Old Na Zui and the other brothers for their great support, and also thank the brothers who voted. Thank you everyone. 8_8419235675. With the dragon Salia in his hands, the dark energy lingered around him. With the dragon Salia in his hands, the dark energy lingered around him. "Hey, this kid has good stuff on him," the slave owner muttered to himself, but was soon relieved. He smiled and said, "The good stuff is ours too. Open the iron cage. Let our tiger shark get excited." With a command from the slave owner, the cage slowly began to open up. At the same time, the dwarf shouted, "For the God Emperor Academy's examination quota, go crazy. Let the competition begin. Kill." The sound was like a fuse that lit the entire arena ablaze. In that instant, when the battle began, not a single one could be retracted. "Good, how exciting." Lin Yusheng looked at Xiong Longfei and said, "Brother, I'll go down first." "Wait a moment." Finished. He jumped straight into the tiger shark pool. Immediately after, a few prisoners fell in, but the moment they fell in, they turned into a pool of blood and never got up again. Lin Yusheng was the god's water tribe. Moreover, if he was not wrong, he should be the god's water King Kong. He can control the water element as he pleases, and those tiger shark could not do anything to him. Long Fei was not worried. Right now, He was angry because of the smug, excited scarecrow and tree spirit in the stands. Is he smug? Kill. The dragon Salia in Long Fei's hand moved, immediately chopping the iron cage in half. It leaped into the air, not thinking of landing on the stage, but into the stands. The dragon Salia moved. The black blade chi raged out, locking onto the scarecrow. Long Fei bellowed, "You dare to scam me? Die." The basic equipment for scarecrows should be Zhonghuaye gold body, right? If he could get something like this out, it would be really satisfying. The scarecrow and the dryad jumped in fright. Their faces turned pale and they almost hugged each other. However, plop! Long Fei crashed into a thick array as his blade energy completely disintegrated. It was as if his entire body had crashed into a thick piece of glass. Phut! As he hit the air shield, he spat out a mouthful of blood and slowly slid off the air shield S. At this moment, the scarecrow and the tree spirit immediately fell back and forth laughing, pointing at Long Fei as they clapped and laughed. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. You want to kill me? You are still very young. Ha ha ha. Are you qualified? Don't you know that only those who enter the beast battling arena can enter? Ha ha ha. Idiot, retard, retard, retard. I'm dying of laughter. Do you think we were afraid of you? Ha ha ha. The two of them almost burst out laughing. Seeing Long Fei collide with the array, they all laughed complacently. He looked exceptionally pleased with himself. Brat, you should try the taste of the tiger shark. Ha ha ha. You want to kill us? How could we possibly be killed by trash like you? The scarecrow began to laugh, too arrogantly, too proudly. How did Long Fei know that there was a huge array inside the beast battling arena? This type of array formation was used to prevent competitors from escaping, and it was also used to prevent the attacks from the arenas from injuring the people in the stands. Under normal circumstances, the beast battling arena would normally have array formations installed on it. Long Fei cursed in his heart, "Damn, it's another formation. You, a scarecrow, are awesome, aren't you? Just you wait. If I don't kill you today, I will change my surname to yours." The flames of anger in Long Fei's heart started to rise. Then, Long Fei looked at the tiger shark that were continuously flying out of the water, and almost bit his butt. Shua! He flew up into the air, and since there was no landing spot, he could only land in the center of the arena. Another one is courting death. The God Emperor Academy's slot is mine. Without waiting for Long Fei to land on the ground, one of the men swung his sword, transforming into a sky full of sword flowers, sealing Long Fei completely. Moreover, the sword technique's attack was extremely sharp, and wanted to take Long Fei's life. Long Fei frowned. "Are you looking to die? I'll help you." Not dodging, not retreating, the dragon Salia in Long Fei's hand clenched tightly as it slashed down at the man. Black dragon, angry. Roar. With a roar, the black dragon's profound chi was activated. The black dragon shadow that was hovering around the dragon Salia burst out and heavily smashed down, directly turning the sword flowers into powder. Long Fei fell. Rumble. 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 The entire arena was shaking. As for the man who attacked Long Fei earlier, he stood behind Long Fei, and a thin black light flashed out from the center of his brows. Boom. His body split into two and was torn apart. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei 4 Killing Warrior Contest for obtaining 100 experience points, True Chi 100 points, Energy Values 100 points. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Contest Value, 1 point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei 4 coming across the Arena Contest Quest. Mission, Competition for Hegemony in the Arena Objective, First Level, a time, 1 day reward, EXP points, True Chi points, 100 points, 100 contest points. Tip: if you receive an S-rank reward, you will receive a special item reward. A small mission. Long Fei's heart skipped a beat. Furthermore, killing a single person would earn him a bit of points. Long Fei glanced at the struggle for hegemony. Without any description, he guessed in his mind, could this be the standard for task evaluation? Let's not worry about that for now. Long Fei's gaze darkened, his voice was brutal and overbearing. All of you, scram. Long Fei's fall had shocked everyone present, especially the dragon Salia in his hands. Break the formation, kill scarecrows. Break the formation, kill scarecrows. Wait a moment. Long Fei had to first take down this battle for hegemony. Because of him, Lin Yusheng missed a God Emperor Academy exam. This was what Long Fei owed him. Since he owed them, he would pay them back. Therefore, what Long Fei wanted to do now was to kill them and seize control of the battle. The black tornado started spinning crazily. The more they rolled, the larger they became. In the end, Long Fei charged into the tornado and floated above the eye of the storm. What an arrogant tone. A mere war master Reem dares to be so arrogant. I'll kill him. An expert of war Emperor Level 1 entered the tornado. Crack. In less than half a second, his head flew off and his eyes were filled with fury. He did not even know that he had died like that. The entire audience suddenly went silent. Long Fei's arrogant voice came out again, and said, "Who else? Let's attack together. Kill him." Dozens of warriors on the stage charged into the dark tornado together. Long Fei floated at the highest point, as if he was the god who ruled over everything. The corner of his mouth slightly curled, his left hand grabbed, taking out the god's devil blade as he coldly laughed, "Black tornado. Berserk slash. All of you must die." He turned around. The chi of the demonic saber, the aura of the dragon Salia reddened, and the black intertwined together and crazily massacred. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. A rain of blood burst out, filling the entire arena. Rumble. A loud sound echoed out. As Long Fei's voice fell, he stood on the stage, causing the center of the stage to crack. With him at the center, the entire stage was filled with blood a meter away. Dozens of people were killed in the arena. Long Fei slowly raised his eyes, and arrogantly roared out, "Who else?" The entire hall was silent. There was no sound at all. The entire beast battle arena was being suppressed by Long Fei alone. What a terrifying aura. At this moment, Long Fei's war pet space. Ha ha ha. Oh my god. Is today the new year? Today, I want to eat meat. I am tired of eating spirit stones every day. Today, I also want to eat holy artifacts or something. Xiao Bai laughed excitedly. Yang Huang ancestor directly swallowed a large wave of weapons and equipment into his mouth, and shouted, "You two little things can only eat spirit stones, everything else will go to me, ha ha ha." Xiao Bai and the ice and fire suddenly withered away. The Yang Huang ancestor became excited. Today is a new year, ah. With so many good things, I can finally have a feast. Dozens of people were killed instantly by Long Fei. They exploded. Without using any striking energy value at all, what was revealed right now were piles upon piles of items. They were all tycoons, second-generation wealthy, and all of them were so rich that they were flowing with oil. Long Fei also did not expect it to explode into such a state. However, what was even more unexpected was that before he had the chance to check the stats of these items, they were basically all divided up. In his previous life, Long Fei felt like he was living a life where one could only count the money and his hands would start spasming. It could not be achieved in his previous life, but in this life, facing the piles and piles of precious artifacts, he thought that he could get away with it, but... Sigh. Long Fei tilted his head upwards, and looked at the sky with a 45-year-old look, and muttered, "Why do I have the urge to die? Don't. Whose do we eat if you die?" Yang Huang ancestor shamelessly said. Xiao Bai also said, "Master, you must not be too preoccupied with this matter. At most, I won't eat too many spirit stones today, but I will make up for it tomorrow." The ice and fire were very real. He directly said, "Master, if you die, we will starve to death." Long Fei. Who are they? Forget it. Since he was already used to the liver pain, Long Fei was already numb to it. Looking at the mission, Long Fei managed to kill all of them but did not complete it. Long Fei's gaze swept across and shouted once more, "I only ask one question, who else is there?" His voice carried the sound of the heavenly note break as it reverberated in the air above the Colosseum. Long Fei was simply too arrogant and tyrannical. In the darkness, that sinister smile on his face turned cold. Supreme artifact of the South Horizon region? Unexpectedly. To think that someone who didn't expect to beat the Long family actually appeared. That pair of sinister eyes looked like they were about to spit fire. His hands were tightly holding the dragon head on the chair, and the dragon head was crushed. The killing intent from his body caused the surrounding people to kneel down heavily. This was too powerful. Half a moment later, the killing intent on his body receded. An elder heaved a sigh of relief and asked, "Island Lord, which Long family is he from?" The island master coldly replied, "There is only one Long family in the entire South Horizon region. Long family of the Fireglass City S have once killed a divine darkness dragon, and they have used its divine dragon's blood essence to refine Dragon Salia S more than 10 years ago. A man who looks almost exactly like him is here. He's basically crushing the entire Colosseum just like him, and..." As he spoke, his body started to tremble non-stop. Anger. He was in incomparable rage. He lowered his head to look at his legs. There was no thigh in his pants. Both his legs had been crippled. It was crippled by someone called Long Janting. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to be trapped on this dead island. It was just like yesterday. The island master laughed coldly. "I never thought I would meet someone from Long family in my lifetime. Good, very good, very good. Back then my legs were crippled. Today, I want to cripple both his legs and hands. I want to use an urn to raise him. I want him to live in hell for the rest of his life." Ha ha ha. The island lord laughed wildly. At this time, in the beast battling arena, Long Fei's gaze turned as he stared at the dwarf. "No one is coming down, I've won." The dwarf was stunned for a moment. Just then, an idea entered his ears. And then, the dwarf looked shocked and said loudly, "Our island lord is very happy today, so..." In today's war of hegemony, he decided to add on the rewards. Other than the position of the first God Emperor Academy, there is also something like a sword. As soon as he finished, whoosh, a sword flew out of the darkness. Buzz buzz. Sword hums erupted. The entire beast battle arena was enveloped by the sword hums, and instantly destroyed Long Fei's chi. Long Fei's gaze darkened. In that instant, Long Fei was shocked. Zhuge sword. It was exactly the same as the Zhuge sword in a game. The only difference was that this Zhuge sword did not have enough momentum. But its appearance was definitely that of a Zhuge sword. The dwarf looked shocked as he thought in his heart, how did he know this was a Zhuge sword? And then, the dwarf said loudly, "That's right, this is the legendary Zhuge sword." Table of contents, not waiting for him to finish. The entire audience was in an uproar. Zhuge sword. The existence of supreme artifact. Chapter 28_841923566737. Sky Marshal Continent. Sky Marshal Continent. 5 Supreme Artifact S. The Supreme Dragon Knife of the South Horizon region. Immortal Domain's Zhuge sword. As for the other 3 areas, they all had a supreme artifact. These 5 godly weapons could make any warrior go crazy. The whereabouts of the 5 divine weapons were all mysterious existences. Even if the Dragon Salia in Long Fei's hands appeared, not many people would recognize it. The reason was, the Dragon Salia in Long Fei's hands did not wield the same level of destructive power that it had previously used against the Dragon God and Evil Demon in the hands of the ancestors of the Long family. This was also because of this. As the first generation of the Dragon Salia pass away, its power also weakened bit by bit. If no one could activate the power in its body, it would slowly weaken. Finally, after 10,000 years, the Dragon Salia had completely lost its former might, and it was only because of this that it was split into 2 by the Dragon Slayer god. He was reborn after being exterminated. The current Dragon Salia had merged back into one under the power of the Yang Huang ancestor, but he had not completely recovered his strength. He was still leveling up. When it truly becomes a supreme artifact, then that would be the time for anyone to compete with it. Many people thought that the Dragon Salia in Long Fei's hands was only a copy. The entire audience was shocked. All of their gazes were fixated on the Zhuge sword floating in the air. Their eyes were dull and filled with greed. Zhuge sword. The supreme artifact of immortal domain. Who doesn't want it? Is it really a Zhuge sword? The Zhuge sword that disappeared within the immortal cliff? This is still not the territory of the immortal domain. Why would it be here? That's right, that's a Zhuge sword. I've seen it on the treasure mirror before. It looks exactly the same as the Zhuge sword in front of me. Even if it isn't a Zhuge sword, it is still an ordinary holy artifact treasure sword. They were all shocked. It was also at this moment. An old man moved through the air, transforming into a stream of light, and said with a smile, "Even though this old one will not be able to enter the God Emperor Academy at my age, but this old one is very interested in this Zhuge sword. Little brother, you admitted defeat yourself? Or should I do it?" The old man held a purplish-blue sword in his hand. It constantly flashed with a purplish-blue light. The aura emitted from his body was also very strange. At this moment, a person in the stands shouted out in shock, "Old man Tianshu? Old man Tianshu? You mean the heavenly void ranker who can freely travel? Why is he here? Didn't he die a long time ago? Since he's already come, this brat should be the first one." Hearing this voice, the previously nervous scarecrow and tree man immediately relaxed. They had almost peed their pants from Long Fei's black tornado earlier on. Now, they were extremely pleased with themselves as they said, "Kid, continue. Let's see how long you can jump for." Long Fei's gaze turned slightly as he looked at the old man in the sky, and laughed, "Let alone you being the old man in the sky, even if you are empty, lonely, and hate the old man, I will still kill you no matter what." What an arrogant tone. The voice of the sky void faded. Shua. His figure disappeared. Just at this moment, Long Fei frowned. He could not feel the existence of the heavenly void at all. It was as if the world had steamed up. This kind of power was indeed very special. It was at this moment. Yang Huang ancestor chewed on the holy artifact and said, "Left side." Long Fei moved, punching out explosively. It blasted straight into the void. Bam! Phut! A firm fist landed on the chest of the heavenly void elder and struck him, sending him flying. In the midst of the lightning, Long Fei moved the dragon Salia dragon chop. Swish, swish. Swish, swish, swish. After slashing 481 times, Old Man Tianshu was left with only a skeleton as he fell into the tiger shark's pool. It was also at this time. Long Fei gave a disdainful sneer and said, "Old Man Tianshu? Even if it's fear of the void, I will still kill." Phut. He spat out a mouthful of saliva. Old Man Tianshu was instantly killed. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Old Man Tianshu for obtaining 10 experience points, true chi points, 10 ability points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Staff of the Void. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for gaining 1 additional points in the battle for hegemony. Long Fei's heart stirred, and he said, "Leave the void staff for me." When Yang Huang ancestor heard Long Fei, he put it back and muttered, "This kind of void staff is just trash. If I used even the slightest bit of idea, I would be able to sense its location. Heaven void. I think it really is an empty old man." Yang Huang ancestor was very disdainful. Long Fei rolled his eyes and said, "To you, I'm a trash. But to me, I'm different." The so-called Old Man Tianshu was completely relying on this scepter to put on a show, but this guy's cultivation was not weak, but he would be a fool if he met Yang Huang ancestor. Long Fei swept his gaze across them and asked, "Who else? This is too arrogant." Another old man flew down, his gaze was like lightning. He stared at Long Fei and said, "Brat, it's better if you keep a low profile." "Is that so? Then I'm really sorry. This young master has always been such a high-profile person. Are you not convinced? Come, bite me if you can't accept it." Long Fei laughed in disdain. "What are you pretending to be a big tail wolf for? What arrogance? What low profile? Aren't you trying to fight for the reward? Why step on me to emphasize your nobility? It's just like how you keep a low profile." The old man frowned, a sharp tongue. "I just don't like it when a junior like you dares to act so impudently in front of me. If I don't teach you a lesson today, don't you know how big the sky is and how thick the land is?" As soon as he finished, the old man's movement technique exploded outwards. Very quickly. It was as fast as lightning. Not only that, the heavy pressure from his body frenziedly rushed over. Long Fei's body sank. Shua, Shua. The god's devil blade appeared in his left hand. Autumn water bit into his mouth. Both of his eyes darkened, and like a ghost, the chi on Long Fei's body suddenly moved, and he spoke in a gloomy tone, 3 blade streams. Ghost slash. Shua. The 3 kinds of saber chi moved and attacked like ghosts and gods. Soon, he was even faster than the old man. The old man's expression shook. What kind of blade technique is this? I've never seen it before. Moreover, at the moment of shock, he slashed 3 times with his saber. Intense pain racked his entire body, and his body exploded as well. Without waiting for him to stand firm, Long Fei retracted his blade and jumped into the sky. He formed a battle axe with his fists and struck down heavily with the illusion of a large power King Kong ape. Rumble. Mountain hit fist. Long Fei threw a punch down, and scolded, I don't know how good the sky is, UF** King no? Bam. I don't know how thick the land is, but you do? Bam. After a series of critical hits, the amount of blood on the old man's head rapidly decreased until it disappeared. Table of contents, boom, ding. The system beep rang. Long Fei pulled out his still bleeding fist and roared fiercely again. Fuck, who else? Chapter 38_841923566738. If you want to be crazy, go all out. If you want to be crazy, go all out. A series of beatings. Without mentioning anything else, Long Fei was about to level up again. Right now, he was hoping for a few more people to help him break through to War Master Level 2. However, there was actually no one coming down from the stands. Long Fei walked in front of the dwarf and said, Did I win? The dwarf smiled and said, Not yet. Long Fei asked with some doubt, Why? The dwarf continued to smile and said, Because there are still people in this arena, you did not win. Our rule is that only the last person in the arena will win. Long Fei smiled and stared at the dwarf. You are also included. The dwarf also looked at Long Fei, and laughed coldly recently. And then, he walked to the side of the pool and dripped a drop of his blood into the pool. Of course, he sneered. Huh. The entire audience was in an uproar. Wasn't he the host? He also participated in the hegemony. Long Fei walked towards the dwarf. The dwarf looked at the sneer on Long Fei's face that was filled with contempt, and said, Brat, you're about to die. Oh. Long Fei trembled slightly. The dwarf still had a smile of contempt on his face, but the moment Long Fei got close to the pond's edge, he suddenly roared out, Bite him to death. The entire audience was stunned. The scarecrow and the dryad were suddenly excited. Big brother dwarf, let the tiger shark bite him to death. Ha ha ha. Near the pool? You are courting death. Do you know why he fell into the pool and didn't die? Because those tiger shark were all trained by him and every single one of them are his killers. Ha ha ha. He was very clear about everything here, and he was also clear on the power of the dwarfs. With Long Fei being so close, even a peak expert of the War Emperor would be dragged into the water by the tiger shark. At that time, he would be torn to shreds and turned into a pool of blood. However, they weren't finished laughing. There was no reaction at all from the pool. Long Fei stood there with his arms crossed, and lightly smiled. Let the tiger shark bite me. Come on, keep biting me. The dwarf's face darkened as he coldly said, You dog, don't be too arrogant. With that, he dripped a dozen or so drops of blood essence into the pool. Long Fei laughed faintly. I am truly sorry, I am just so arrogant. Letting the tiger shark bite me. Come, come, quickly come and bite me. There was no movement from the surface of the water. There was not a single tiger shark left that had previously swam about. The dwarf's face changed greatly as he said, That's impossible. How could it be like this? Where did they go? It was also at this time. Long Fei slapped him. You'll know when you get down. Pa. The dwarf was flipped over and fell into the pool. Boom. Gulp. The group of tiger sharks were like madmen as they directly sent the dwarf flying. They bit off all 4 of their limbs and spurted out blood, which then sank into the pond and created a huge splash. Then, a pool of blood appeared. This time, he really died. Long Fei laughed disdainfully. What are you being cocky for? Give me more cocky. What's going on? Why would those tiger shark listen to him? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. It was also at this time. Lin Yusheng slowly emerged from the water and stood on the body of a tiger shark, and said, "There are piles of bones below, and all of their space ring were taken away. This beast battling arena is a huge conspiracy. I think the God Emperor Academy quota is also fake." Long Fei frowned. His gaze shifted as he stared at the dark corner of the arena. Woo ha ha ha. I never thought that the people from the God's Water tribe would actually appear in the Yuling Island. They are extremely rare, truly rare. While they were talking, a chair was slowly pushed out from the darkness. There was a person sitting on the chair, a man in his 50s. The man's face was gloomy. Its two eyes were staring at Long Fei as if it wanted to kill its father. Long Fei didn't pay attention to anything else, but there was a strange feather sticking out of the man's head. The feather was glowing with a rainbow of colors, appearing extremely strange. Yang Huang ancestor immediately said, "Feather of the spirit." Long Fei's heart sank. Are you talking about the feather on the man's head? Not with me. But the feather that grew on his head, he should be a demon beast that cultivated to a human form. He is very strong, you have to be careful. As soon as Yang Huang ancestor finished speaking, Long Fei immediately opened up the system and smiled. Ha ha ha. Boss. 6 people walked out from behind the man. The pot-bellied slave masters, the scrawny one-eyed men, and a few strange-looking men all had one thing in common. His aura was like that of a demon, a very powerful aura. It should be the men from the demon beastess that came out. It was just that the man on the chair had the strongest cultivation. He did not have any of the demon beast's aura on him. Long Fei said excitedly, "A group of, how many levels will I be able to level up this way?" Demon beastess that could cultivate human bodies were not simple. If it wasn't simple, then the experience would naturally be high. That was great. What he lacked right now was experience. He still had 2 years' time. If Long Fei wanted to appear in the Heaven sect with absolute power, he had to break through the War Emperor realm. However, the War Emperor realm was not Long Fei's goal at all. His target was the War God, the War King. He wanted to crush Hong Tianjuan's T out. Experience was important, very important. Seeing the excitement on Long Fei's face, the island master coldly said, "Dragon Salya, I finally met another person from the Long family." Long Fei laughed. Seems like the people from Long family left a deep impression on you. Disabled person, your legs were probably crippled by the Long family. Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, the slave owner's voice sank, shouting, "You're courting death." With a fierce light in his eyes, the fat on his stomach shook as he stared at Long Fei with killing intent. It could be seen that he also hated the people of Long family to the bone. The island master chuckled, and said, "You're right, I was crippled by the Long family. You should be very familiar with Long Zhanting, right? A dozen years ago, you were almost exactly the same as him. He's not your father, is he?" Long Fei was shocked. "Father?" He called out naturally. He had once promised his grandfather that he would definitely find his father and bring him back, but this past year, he didn't have any news about his father at all. When the island master said this, his heart immediately tightened. Could it be that father went to immortal domain? Long Fei did not show it, and said with a bland smile, "That is the senior of our Long family. Is the lesson he taught you not enough? Kid, you must be tired of living. Carrot, /float life." The owner of the slave couldn't hold it in anymore. Long Fei was too arrogant. He took a step forward. In the air, the slave owner growled, and his body transformed crazily, revealing half of his beast body. It was incomparably terrifying. Chapter 48_841923567339. Roar. Roar. A strange roar was heard. A sinister bone was exposed on his back, covered with poisonous thorns. With a flip in the air, the poisonous thorns fell from the sky. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Long Fei's eyes slightly rose as he said, I'm not tired of living, but you must be tired of living. You want to compete in poison with me? Long Fei blocking the poison thorns that shot down explosively. His body charged forward, and then crushed the orb that was the commander of the yin snake, swiftly refining it. Secret skill. Poison. The true qi surged, and the poisonous gas was released. The poison of the yin snake was extremely strong. Adding on the poison from the yin snakeess, it was even sharper than before. The master of the slave was breathing a little bit, and his whole body was trembling, cold, and pale. Long Fei's footsteps were like a mirage. He rushed forward quickly and rushed to the side of the slave owner, saying, Die. In that instant, the slave owner's fat stomach straightened. He suddenly hugged Long Fei and rushed into the pond. Rumble. Water splashed everywhere. At this moment, the body of the slave master was fully revealed. It was a prehistoric fish monster, with a body like a puffer fish. Its belly and back were full of poisonous thorns. In the water, he hugged Long Fei and laughed out loud, You dare to be arrogant with me? Ha ha ha. Now go to hell. He was indeed poisoned. However, he was also a level-up demon beast, so the power that he had released in that instant was something that Long Fei had never expected. Moreover, at the bottom of the lake, the slave owner crazily struck out, Power of the flood dragon, break, boom. A sinking. Move. The water ripples were like a shockwave as they struck at Long Fei's chest. Long Fei's body sank and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lin Yosheng's gaze tensed up as both his hands quickly formed a seal. The power of heavenly water. Without waiting for him to finish, the island master waved his finger and said, Kill. God's water tribe died yesterday. I didn't expect there would be another survivor today. Ha ha ha. Lin Yosheng's gaze darkened, he stopped his hand seals and asked, What did you say? The island master smiled coldly and said, You still don't know? Ha ha ha. Your God's water tribe has already been exterminated by me. You're the only survivor in the entire God's water tribe, ha ha ha. Lin Yosheng's body started to tremble. Impossible, impossible. There are many strong warriors in the God's water tribe. In the Demon Sea, no one can destroy our God's water tribe. The island master smiled coldly and said, Don't worry. You will understand when you meet your clansmen after you die. The God's water tribe should not exist in this world. They deserve to die. If not for Long Zhanting, your God's water tribe would already be dead. You have lived for 10 more years and you would already be considered lucky. Suddenly, the island master saw that Lin Yusheng suddenly opened his eyes and laughed. You should be the genius Lin Yusheng that the God's water tribe has high hopes for, right? Ha ha ha. A few days ago, you failed the examination, causing your family's last hope to be shattered. It was also at that time that my Merfolk army massacred your God's water tribe, and blood flowed like rivers for 3 days and 3 nights, just like how you guys destroyed our Merfolk. The island lord laughed wildly. Lin Yosheng's body was trembling. Thinking back to the patriarch's expression, why did he expel him from the Heavenly Water clan? At this moment, his teeth chattered. Anger spewed out like a volcano. With his 2 eyes staring at the island master on the chair, Lin Yosheng's murderous intent rose. The island master smirked and said, How does it feel to have your family wiped out? It must be great, ha ha ha. You last son of a B*TCH, you shall die too. Lin Yusheng could not hold it in anymore. He took a step forward. The seawater below his feet condensed into a flood dragon. The flood dragon roared and rushed towards the island master. I will kill you. You! The island master's body moved as he pointed at the sleigh and directly pierced through Lin Yosheng's chest. Hualala! The flood dragon beneath his feet shattered, and he also dropped down from the sky. Bam! Bang! Upon smashing to the ground, Lin Yusheng spat out a mouthful of blood. The island master disdainfully said, Not even a single strike. At this moment, the one-eyed man with bones as thin as firewood walked out from behind the island master, coldly laughed, and dragged him up. Lin Yosheng's thigh jumped into the pond, and asked, Aren't you God's water tribe? Aren't you the strongest in the water? Aren't you the fusion expert of the heavenly strength and the water force? Today, I will let you experience the power of the murlocs. Bang, bang, bang. After receiving heavy blows again and again, Lin Yosheng's heart ached as if he had died. It was as if he did not feel any of the attacks coming at him. The God's Water Tribe was exterminated. God's Water Tribe was exterminated. Because of me. It's because I'm useless. I failed the examination. It's because of me. Ah. Lin Yosheng's heart crumbled. At this time, his fighting strength had dropped to 0. He no longer wanted to live, and all his clansmen had died because of him. I'm sorry. Lin Yusheng closed his eyes. At this moment, he was not a match for Lin Yusheng in the water, and when he saw that Lin Yusheng was heavily injured, his heart sank even more. Mountain Sea Scripture, Beast Transformation System, activate. Buzz. Beast Transmogrification. Roar. With an angry roar, Long Fei immediately transformed into the Imperial Claw. With a swipe of its huge tail, it directly grabbed the slave owner and ferociously roared, "You are awesome in the water, right? I'll kill you just the same." He swung out his tail with all his might. Whoosh. The slave owner shot out like a cannonball, smashing heavily into the magic circle of the beast fighting arena. Bam! He landed on the stage, smashing his body and spitting out blood. The power of the Imperial Claws exploded outwards. The huge monster scared that skinny one-eyed man so much that his face sank. Before he could react, it fiercely hit him and sent him flying. Long Fei did not pursue him. He rushed to the bottom of the pond and lifted Lin Yusheng up. The idea entered his sea of consciousness and said, "Brat, do you want to take revenge?" Lin Yusheng was extremely weak and she begged for death with all her heart as she said, "All of my clansmen are dead. What is the meaning of me living? They died for you. They used death to protect you and make you rise. If you continue to fall like this, even if you die, will you be able to face your people? You bear the heavy responsibility of rising up the entire race. Do you want to die here?" Long Fei roared. At this moment, whoosh whoosh, whoosh whoosh, asterisk the 5 voices sounded. The island master was also among them. He stared at the Ao Huang coldly, and said with a sneer, "I didn't think you could transform into a beast. The power of the Long family is strong again. Then all the more reason for you to die." Bang, bang, bang. Shockwaves burst out from the water, colliding with the Ao Huang body. He was nailed to the wall of the pond. Again and again. Long Fei did not resist, he only used his body to firmly protect Lin Yusheng. He wanted to use his own blood to awaken the power in Lin Yusheng's body. Bang, bang, bang. For the mission, Long Fei was really going all out. After half an hour, he was bombarded for half an hour. Suddenly, Lin Yusheng raised his eyes and looked at the gigantic Aogu Emperor. He knew that this was Long Fei, and said slightly, "What are you doing? I really don't have a foundation." Long Fei said strenuously, "I'm not gay either, but I love you." Suddenly, http://Lin Yosheng's eyes closed slightly as a white lotus rose from his abdomen. Yang Huang ancestor's heart tightened as he asked doubtfully, "What kind of power is this? I have never seen it before." The heavens do not disappoint those who care. "If you don't wake up soon, I'm going to die." Long Fei grinned and said, "I know." The First Generation Water Shadow, by Lian. Chapter 5. Thank you Lin Yusheng for your strong firepower support, and thank you brothers for your monthly tickets. I am extremely grateful. 8_8419235670. The First Generation Water Shadow, by Lian. The First Generation Water Shadow, by Lian. This was naturally something that Long Fei had fabricated. The Shadow Fire world was Fire Shadow Time, and this was the place. The alternate world Long Fei was currently in was a real world. If he hadn't comprehended beyond the heavens, coupled with the love in his heart, he wouldn't have been able to comprehend what belonged to another world. However, the power that came out of Lin Yosheng's body was indeed shockingly terrifying. One flower, one world. My world. Lin Yusheng slowly said, "Water world. Rumble." As soon as he finished speaking, the aura within his body abruptly changed, like a dam had collapsed and a myriad of torrents had poured out. A fishman demon beast charged forward, striking Long Fei in the back. Lin Yosheng's eyes flashed, and he laughed, "I'll do it." As soon as he finished, the figure disappeared, and in an instant, the fishman was sent flying. Instant kill. Heh! Damn, that was my experience. Long Fei felt a burst of bitterness in his heart, but immediately said, "Don't be so ruthless, just hit him until he's only left with half a breath." A sudden explosion. It caused the island master to be slightly astonished. He looked at Lin Yusheng and laughed faintly. "The white lotus is in your body, ha ha ha. It seems like the heavens really are not unkind to me." Lin Yusheng stared at the island master and said, "Today, I want to avenge my people." "You, Humph. You're not qualified. The power of the white lotus is only the tip of the iceberg. Your current strength." As soon as he finished, the island master's figure suddenly disappeared. Amidst the waves, a voice rang out, "You can't even withstand a single blow." Boom. The sound of an intense collision rang out. Waves of water shot up to the sky as the huge waves continuously crashed against the array boundary, causing it to tremble. What happened? Are those two dead now? I never thought that the island master of the Yuling Island would be a fishman. Those two brats must be dead. His voice was deafening. However, Lin Yusheng stood in place without moving because in front of him was a person who was carrying a dragon's salyer on his shoulder, holding onto a god's devil blade, and holding onto a blade in his mouth. It exploded in his mouth. 3 blade stream blocked the island master's attack. Looking at Long Fei's back figure, he tightly clenched his fists, and couldn't help but say, "So strong." Long Fei smiled slightly. "Do you know why Long Zhanting only crippled your feet back then?" The island lord's expression was ugly as he said with a gloomy tone, "Why?" Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he smiled. "Because he left your life for me to kill." Lin. Water. Lin Yusheng was startled, and said, "Eh?" Long Fei said heavily, "Get out of the water." The idea moved. He kept the 3 blades and took out the thunder dragon rod, then said with a smile, "Have you seen electric fishes before? Surely you've never seen it. Today I'll show you what an electric fish is." The idea fused with the thunder dragon rod. Laughed excitedly, thunder against thunder, 8 dragons rage. Release. The instant the lightning descended, Long Fei immediately used teleportation to pull out the water surface, releasing the thunder dragon rod on the ground. He would be fine, but he didn't dare guarantee that he would be able to get anything out of the water. Moreover, water was a conductor. It was able to strengthen the power of thunder and lightning, causing at least 2 times the damage of thunder and lightning in the water. The instant when Long Fei came out of the water, rumble, rumble, rumble. The power of thunder rampaged wildly, rampaging about unrestrained. Incomparable thick bolts of lightning densely covered the entire pool, and bright red damage continuously appeared on the surface of the pool. Crackling. It felt like a nuclear explosion. 1 second later, the eyes of the tiger shark that were tamed by Lin Yusheng turned white one by one as they came out of the water, their bodies twitching uncontrollably. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei 4 slaying prehistoric tiger shark 4-1 experience point, true chi 300 points, energy values 1 point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei 4 obtaining hegemonical value +1. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei. The system exploded. This was the first time that the 8 Dragons' Fury had been released from the water. It was too powerful. Moreover, Long Fei muttered in his heart, "I didn't expect that Tiger Shark would also have the ability to compete for hegemony. What a great mood." Lin Yusheng floated in midair, seeing Tiger Shark coming out one by one from the pond, he was stunned. He looked at Long Fei and said, "So abnormal." He felt a wave of fear. He was the controller of the power of water. To him, the power of thunder and lightning was his nemesis. With this kind of attack from the Thunder Dragon Rod, he also became. When he thought of that scene, Lin Yusheng got a burst of goosebumps. Looking at Long Fei's complacent and vulgar smile, he thought to himself, "Will he forcefully push me down? What should we do? Do I need to resist? Is there any use in resisting? Oh my god, I'm not gay." Lin Yosheng's mind was in a mess. In his opinion, Long Fei's complacent and vulgar smile was all directed at him. It was just too terrifying. Boom. The water exploded. A fishman's entire body was charred black by the electricity. After rushing out of the water, Long Fei grabbed it with his right hand and swung the 103,000 Jin Dragon Salya down with his blade. Bam! 1/. Shua. Once again being blasted into the water, the lightning wrapped around him and the crackling sounds of explosions could be heard. He rolled his eyes and died. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing fishmen, for obtaining 1 experience point, true chi point, energy values point, and contending for hegemony point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Master level, level 2. Heh. It leveled up. Long Fei secretly laughed in his heart, and his smile became even more vulgar as he said, come out again. If you come out, I'll blow your ass, ha ha ha. Boom. 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 3 voices rushed out together. Brat, hand over your life. Long Fei yelled, 1 for you, 2 for me. As soon as he finished, Long Fei grinned, you dare to fly in the air. Heh. Dragon chop. Shua. Long Fei immediately flew out. The dark dragon Salya crazily beheaded them. This time it was the 2 of them together and it did not give them any chance to escape. Bam. Bam. Is it good? They did not have much HP left from being electrocuted, so once they rushed out, they were immediately chopped to death by Long Fei's blades. This time, Lin Yusheng also followed Long Fei's instructions and beat him up to the point where he only released his fist after taking his last breath. Long Fei immediately followed up. 1/kill. 3 notifications sounded. Long Fei landed on the stage and looked around. Just then, Long Fei saw the scarecrow and the tree spirit slip away stealthily. His brows twitched as he shouted, you too want to escape? I will find you at the ends of the earth. Table of contents, they were the ones who were tricked by these 2. However, now, Long Fei didn't have the heart to deal with them, but coldly looked at the water surface and laughed coldly. Disabled one, you're the only one left. Come out and meet me. Chapter 18_8419235671. Boom. Boom. Long Fei's voice fell. The surface of the water suddenly burst open, splashing water everywhere as it rushed upwards and stopped in midair. In his hand was the Thunder Dragon Rod. Long Fei was shocked. Damn it. Just now, they were too busy killing the murlocs that they forgot the Thunder Dragon Rod still on the surface of the water. The Island Lord smiled sinisterly and said, I'll take this holy artifact. Finished. He directly swallowed the 2-meter-long Thunder Dragon Rod. Holy *T. Long Fei was furious. He took a step forward and roared, stop. 3-rate peerless technique. Releasing his 8-fold elemental energy, Long Fei slashed down, Dark Dragon God slash. The saber chopped down. He was extremely worried. Because of Fei. Feiya is still inside the pearl. Could something have happened? Long Fei felt very guilty in his heart, and said, Feiya, I'm sorry, it was my negligence, but I will definitely save you. The Island Lord smiled coldly and said, Long family, back then Long Zhanting was much stronger than you. This power of yours. Too weak. Whoosh. With a splash, the Island Master's palms faltered, 6 bestows of the 8 trigrams. Break. Lightning strike, rushed to Long Fei's side and struck down with his palm. Boom. Long Fei was struck into the stage, causing the stage to split apart, the chi and blood on his chest roiled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. At this moment, Lin Yusheng frowned, open. The white lotus flower in his body opened up a flower petal. His body started to tremble, and all the water in the pond was absorbed by him. Ripples of water. Lin Yusheng was pulled up by a surging spring, his hands formed a seal, and his idea fused into the water spirit, by Lian Kai, Water World. My world. Open for me. Gulp. The water ripples that gathered around his body suddenly exploded, forming a world of water, like a gigantic water ball. It enveloped the Island Master. The Island Lord's face sank. This is the power of the White Lotus, the power of the domain, the water world. It's mine. This power is mine. His entire person became malevolent and wild. However, Lin Yusheng glared at him and said faintly, "This is my world, the world that I control. Now, I want to avenge my clan." Wang. The moment his power moved, he would be the master of everything in this water ball. He controlled everything in the water ball, including the island owner. Bam! Boom, boom, boom. Lin Yusheng's fists struck crazily. The water ripples were like swords, crazily attacking the island master with the severed leg. "Kill my clansman. Die." Bam! His attacks continued to land on the island master's body, but the island master had no way of resisting. His strength, speed, everything was being controlled. All weakened. Because this was the world that Lin Yusheng ruled over, the White Lotus water world. Long Fei looked up at the world of water balls in the sky and was extremely shocked in his heart. This is his power. Is it the power of a god, Water King Kong? Heh. Domain power. This power is too strong to explode. Ha ha ha. Indeed. This was the first time Long Fei had seen domain of power. Although it was only a water ball with a diameter of 3 meters, the moment one entered the water world of the White Lotus, they would be controlled by Lin Yusheng. The only flaw was, the water ball was too small. Furthermore, it had to be inside the water ball. It was a hard wound. He could only control the power of water. If it was any place. Long Fei laughed excitedly. When he saw the island master's sinister smile, Long Fei's heart tensed up, and he reminded him, "Lin, be careful. Too weak. Your White Lotus is too weak. It's basically useless against trash like you." Blood dripped from the corner of the island master's mouth as he sneered sinisterly. "Woo ha ha ha. The water world, the power of the domain. I've finally experienced it. The legends are true." The island master laughed out loud. Then, his eyes turned sinister as he roared, "Break." Roar. His body started transforming non-stop. The bones all over his body were transforming, becoming a giant, incomparably ugly fish more than 3 meters tall. His entire body was covered with dense, barbed spikes. The spike pierced through the water ball. At this moment, Hualala. The water ball boundary broke. The island master with a broken leg suddenly landed in front of Lin Yusheng, laughed coldly, and said, "You're too weak. Give me your strength." Ha ha ha. With one hand, he grabbed Lin Yusheng, and the 2 barbed thorns on his palm directly pierced into his body. Poochie. Ah! Lin Yusheng let out a painful scream as it pierced through his bones and crazily absorbed the energy in his body. Long Fei took a step forward, and the dragon Salia fiercely cut down. "Break for me." Boom. A bone was broken, and a bright red number appeared above his head. At that moment, that broken bone also quickly regenerated. The island master did not care about Long Fei's attack at all. What he wanted the most now was the power of the White Lotus in Lin Yusheng's body. He has the power of regeneration. We need to find his hood door or we won't be able to kill him. Yang Huang ancestor warned. Long Fei thought, he has the power of regeneration, why haven't his feet been reborn yet? Could it be that my father possesses the power to destroy and revive? Long Zhanting was his father. His father had been here before, and had even defeated the island master before. Without a doubt, his father had entered the immortal domain. Suddenly, Long Fei's mind went cold. The legs is his hood door? And then, Long Fei's figure descended, and fiercely slashed at his crippled legs. Ah! The island lord screamed, "Damn it!" More than half of his legs had been cut off, but it was regenerated in just a few seconds. No way. His thigh is also not his hood door. Long Fei's heart tightened. How in the world did father do it? Since his thigh isn't a hood door, then how was he able to prevent him from reproducing? What kind of power is this? It was clear that the island master's legs were not at the place where the hood door resided. However, why was it cut off by his father? If the power of regeneration could be cut apart, then just how strong was father? Yang Huang ancestor said lightly, "There is a type of profound meaning behind strength, lifting something heavy as though it were light." Your father probably used this kind of power to cripple his legs, but this kind of strength. It's too hard to comprehend. I didn't expect your father's talent to reach such a level. It's too terrifying. To lift something heavy as though it were light. Long Fei didn't have the time to comprehend anything like lifting something heavy as though it were light. Right now, he wanted to save someone, wanted to save Fei, and said, "Ancestor, don't say these things. Tell me where the hood door is first." At this moment, Fei yawned. "I slept so well, baby woke up. Hey, why is it so dark now? Master, where are you? Fei doesn't like it here. Fei wants to blow this place up." Chapter 28_8419235672. How do I break the power of regeneration? How do I break the power of regeneration? The profound truths of strength was something that could not be comprehended in a short period of time. Long Fei kept chopping, and chopping. The dragon spirit killer continued to be released, but the island master's power of regeneration was simply too strong. It was impossible to break it. Moreover, once again, he would recover some of his health. To kill him quickly was impossible, unless he found his hood door. "I'll cripple your hands first." He could not let Lin Yusheng continue to suffer. He is the god's water King Kong, one of the 8 great Vajra. If he were to die, then the hidden attributes of the 8 Vajra body would be untouchable. 3-rate peerless technique. Full power. Long Fei held the dragon's salya tightly and slashed down. Ah! With both his hands chopped off, the island master let out a painful cry. His expression became even more sinister as he smiled excitedly. "Do you think you can just cut off my hands? Ha ha ha. You don't even understand the power of my thorny demon fish. Continue absorbing. Ha ha ha." Lin Yusheng fell to the ground and smashed into the arena. His body was still trembling non-stop and his energy was being absorbed like a ripple in the water by the island master. "This is faster. Long family, do you feel good?" The island master laughed wildly in pride and said, "I've said it before, you're too weak. How can Long family have trash like you? Ha ha ha. I will absorb the power of the white lotus in his body first, then I will turn your head around and find Long Zhanting. I will kill him." Crazy. He was filled with arrogance and pride. Long Fei was also secretly anxious. "Hood door, where is the hood door?" Dragon chop. He unleashed his berserk slash with 360 degrees without a blind spot, slashing out with more than 480 slashes. Long Fei carefully observed every slash carefully, and his damage output was surprisingly uniform. This proved that these 400-odd places were not his hood door. Could it be inside his body? Long Fei's heart tightened. The island master's body was covered in reborn thorns. The faster he cut, the faster he grew. Lin Yusheng was completely suppressed and the water energy on his body was frantically being absorbed, and he was completely unable to endure it. "Quickly run, don't worry about me, quickly run. Ha ha ha. Flee." The island lord became excited as he said, "The beast battling arena is just a huge boundary. Where can he escape to?" "You won't be able to escape. 3 days ago, this was how I sucked all of your god's water tribe's clansmen into mummies. The power of water in my body is now even stronger than your god's water tribes. I only need the power of the white lotus in your body." Ha ha ha. Laughter. Incomparable excitement. Long Fei was incomparably furious, but his heart was incomparably calm, and he thought to himself, "There must be something I have neglected, there must be something I have not noticed in the east. Where is it? Where is it? Where exactly is the hood door?" At this moment, Fei's voice connected to Long Fei's idea. "Fei is very angry, so the consequences will be very serious. I'm going to blow him up." Long Fei's mind tightened, and he immediately started laughing excitedly. "Blast it, Fei, use all of your power to blast it open, ha ha ha." As soon as he finished, Long Fei flew out and stared at the island master with a cold smile. The island master looked at Long Fei with a disdainful smile. "Trash, there's no other way, right? Ha ha ha. Even a trash like you can hurt me?" At this moment, his face suddenly darkened as he looked at his own stomach. His pupils constricted with incomparable fear as he said, "No, no, no. Rumble. Rumble." The rage of Faya was released from his body, and 100,000 volts of electricity explosively struck down. It used to be outer and inner, but now it was inner and outer. 6 digits of damage crazily shot out from the top of his head. "Feeling good?" Long Fei laughed excitedly. "Are you still cocky?" F***CK. It was a violent mess. The island master rolled on the ground continuously as the lightning from his entire body constantly shot out. His mouth, eyes, and ears. They all shot out lightning. There was only one place. Long Fei's face tensed up. Could that be a hood door? It can't be. This is too. Half a minute later. As the lightning energy disappeared, Faya was like a deflated balloon as she muttered, "Your baby is tired. Your baby needs to rest. Wait for your baby to sleep for a while before calling you to kill you. Do. Finished." Faya curled up together and fell asleep. 100,000 volts, she had used up all her energy. She fell asleep right away, not even having time to greet Long Fei. Huff, huff, huff. The island master was panting like an ox. The power of regeneration in his body began to regenerate as he recovered quite a bit of his HP. He asked, "You want to kill me? Ha ha ha, what other tricks do you have?" Just now, the explosion of 100,000 volts of lightning had caused him unbearable pain. If it had continued for another half a minute, he might have really collapsed. But now, when the lightning disappeared, he was alive again. The island master felt the thunder dragon rod in his body and saw that it had completely quieted down. He became excited and said, "There's no other way, right? Ha ha ha. I am immortal." Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "Eternal life. You will never be able to comprehend my power in your entire life. Even if Long Zhanting was in front of me, I could still easily trample him to death." "Is that so?" As soon as he finished, Long Fei stood in front of him. The island master did not place Long Fei in his eyes at all and said with a sneer, "Come." In that instant, Long Fei's figure disappeared and turned, appearing right behind him. Inulin Dragon Salya. The knife stabbed forward. He dived into the island lord's chrysanthemum. Then, the dragon Salya turned, and like a poisonous dragon's drill, it started to spin. Just now, there was no lightning at this place, so this place could very well be where the hood door resided. In that instant, his face was pale, and he howled out in pain like a pig being butchered. After so many years of training his power of regeneration to the 9th stage, he was only one stage away from being able to regenerate his entire body, without any hood door. But now, it was the 9th level. His chrysanthemum was the last. Long Fei looked at the damage floating above his head, grinned, and said, "I'll stab your chrysanthemum." Bam. Equals half caret float # life caret bam. Once the hood door was destroyed, his HP crazily fell. At this moment, Lin Yusheng forgot the pain in his body, but instead, he felt the chrysanthemums tighten, and muttered, "I told you he had a special hobby." Chapter 38_841923567343. One poke, one slap. One poke, one slap. Another stab, and a twitch. What was stabbed out was blood, and what was pulled out was also blood. The island master had no power to resist. Broken hood door, broken all over. The blood on top of his head was quickly drained. Finally, Long Fei suddenly moved, blast your ass, explode. Boom. Within the pearl, Faya gently opened her eyes and looked at Long Fei. She gave a light smile, and then closed her eyes again. Release your striking attribute. Long Fei moved and released 100 points of striking energy value. The system beep rang. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Yu Ling Island Lord for obtaining an experience point, true chi point, energy values point, and contending for a hegemony of 900 points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining power of regeneration. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining imitation Zhuge sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Zhuge sword blueprint. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Feather of the Spirit. Her power of regeneration? Long Fei's heart tightened, thinking of the island master's terrifying regenerative powers, his heart trembled. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for fusing Power of Regeneration. You have gained 100 experience points, 100 true chi points, and 100 points. Strength, Power of Regeneration description, possesses the ability to recover health point. Description 2, when the player's health point drops to 100, it will automatically recover 1000 points. Description 3, can only be used once a day and cannot be reused. Ha ha ha. Long Fei started laughing excitedly, and said, then it's equivalent to giving me half a life more. 1000 health point wasn't a small amount to him. And then, Long Fei continued to look, and muttered, I knew it was a copy of the weapon. If it really is a Zhuge sword, then we'll be rich. Ancestor, I'll reward you. Long Fei did not check the properties of the imitation Zhuge sword because it was disdainful. Yang Huang Ancestor was stunned, then said, ha ha ha. You actually did it once. With that, he threw the imitation Zhuge sword into his mouth and excitedly laughed. Although this Zhuge sword is a replica, its strength can still be considered high quality among the holy artifact, and is not weaker than a sword among the Xian Ming sword. Long Fei was immediately dumbstruck, looking at the remaining half of the Zhuge sword. He wanted to cry but had no tears to shed. He could only act tough. A mere high-ranked holy artifact is nothing, I don't care. When he spoke, his liver ached. He felt incomparable regret. Because at most, it would be a knockoff item. How would he have expected it to be a superior grade holy artifact? Yang Huang Ancestor slightly said, this Yu Ling Island Lord is a sword crafting master. Do you know how much power the holy artifact used? No less than 1,000. 1,000. Long Fei was tongue-tied. Holy shit, 1,000 pieces. What does that mean? It was hard to imagine. What did 1,000 holy artifact mean? Long Fei secretly tensed up, and said, don't tell me pirates earn so much money. The Yang Huang Ancestor said slightly, there are billions of islands in the South Horizon region. If any expert wants to enter the immortal domain, they must pass by here. How many young talents, geniuses, and sect masters of powerful sects do they have one or two holy artifacts with them? Only. They never dreamed that they would die here. The bones in the pool have formed a mountain. You can see how many people have died. You little brat, it seems like you have gotten great merits by eliminating all the harm in name. The Yang Huang Ancestor said indifferently. Long Fei was also extremely shocked in his heart, and asked, Ancestor, you said that he used 1,000 holy artifacts to forge an imitation. What kind of situation is this? Yang Huang Ancestor said, your space ring has a blueprint for the sword. It should be the blueprint for the Zhuge sword. This blueprint is something that any swordsmith would dream of. It is the best of the true divine rank. It is also the only blueprint for the Zhuge sword. The only possibility is that the Zhuge sword fell into the immortal cliff. It is just a lie. Actually, it was destroyed by a wave of power. To recreate the Zhuge sword, you need this blueprint, and also have to find the Zhuge sword fragments. In order for the Zhuge sword to shine back to the world, it is too difficult. Zhuge sword. The strongest supreme artifact in the immortal domain. Even people in Chaos Realm had heard of these things. Moreover, the Zhuge sword was slightly stronger than the Dragon Salya, and it had appeared even earlier in the Sky Martial continent. It could be said that before the Dragon Salya appeared, the Zhuge sword had already fallen. Long Fei's heart tensed up, and asked, in the end, what kind of power is able to destroy the Zhuge sword? Who didn't want the supreme artifact? How could someone destroy him? Yang Huang Ancestor laughed lightly, because he's too strong. In the world of martial artists, everyone pursues the most powerful and holy power. Zhuge sword is too strong. He caused countless massacres, and billions of experts died for him. It can be said that it is a devil sword, a peerless devil sword. As for what power will destroy it, I'm not too sure either. There is a rumor that it is the power of the outer world. A giant god saw it and was unhappy with it, so he ended up destroying it. There are also rumors that it was destroyed on its own. I'm not sure. The Yang Huang Ancestor said seriously, Yuling Island Lord was bewitched by this blueprint, and he frantically wanted to refine it. Kid, this is a demonic diagram and also a path of no return. Don't be tempted by it, it's best if you destroy it. Hee hee. Long Fei laughed. I am a demonic cultivator, why should I be afraid? It should be him who is afraid of me. Zhuge soared. If he's as strong as the legends say, then I'll definitely make him shine again. At this moment. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for completing the Feather of the Spirit mission. You have received 100 million experience, 500,000 true chi, and a special reward of 3 time. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Master level 3. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining special reward. Long Fei moved and opened the gift pack in the system. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward. Level +1, current level, War Master level 4. At the same time, the system once again sounded out the system's notification for completion. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for completing hegemonical mission with a reward of experience points, true chi points, 1000 points, and 100 points. Quest score, a level, unable to obtain special rewards. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining more than 100 points. Would you like to exchange it for a special item? Exchange. Long Fei didn't have any hesitation. It was also at this time. Sister-in-law, 1-/+ health strongest upgrade system. A huge will appeared in his mind and started spinning crazily. Finally, the needle stopped at one place. Level +1. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at War Master level 5. Long Fei looked at the items on the spinning wheel and started boiling as he muttered to himself, I want to draw big prizes, I want to draw big prizes. Chapter 48_841923567444. Turn around. Turn around. Power of full mastery. Buddha palm technique. Fushi blood vein, thunder god hammer. The turntable was densely packed with all sorts of things. What holy artifact did they not have? Everything. Seeing these, Long Fei immediately checked the number of times he had drawn the lottery, 5 times. I can smoke for free 5 times now. If I can get a Fushi blood vein, I can't. If this goes on, my little heart won't be able to take it. Long Fei was extremely excited. The Fushi blood vein wasn't the best item. However, there were good items on the wheel, as well as a bunch of trash such as rank 1 spirit pills, rank 1 magic weapon, and an enormous thank you for participating. Just as Long Fei was about to try the lottery draw, the array formation above the beast fighting arena was suddenly destroyed by a force. An old man stood in mid-air and looked at Long Fei, who was still seated cross-legged on the other side. At this moment, Lin Yosheng's power was truly frantically being absorbed back. Not only was it his power of heavenly water, the power of the entire God's water tribe. They rushed into his body as if they were not under his control, causing his strength and aura to increase rapidly. The old man was like a god, and the aura around him was that of the ethereal realm. Immortal. The immortal of immortal domain. Long Fei's mind tensed up, and retreated half a step to protect Lin Yusheng behind him. Yang Huang ancestor said, his strength is more than 10 times stronger than you. If he wants to kill you, perhaps he can do it with just 1 finger. The elder smiled and said, don't be afraid. I have no relationship with this island. The reason I came down was to ask you if you would follow me. When the Yang Huang ancestor said that, Long Fei's entire being was boiling. More than 10 times stronger than me? If I kill the immortals in the immortal domain, how high would I be able to rank up? Long Fei was like a madman. However, this was just an idea. Because, in front of a immortal stage ranker, he was not even an ant. Long Fei naturally did not dare to try, he still wanted to live for a few more years, and said, follow you? Where to? The old man said, God Emperor Academy. As soon as he finished, Long Fei was obviously startled when he saw the symbol on the old man's chest. It looked like a heaven character, but in the middle of the heaven character, there was an incomparably sharp sword. It was like a sword that could shake the heavens. A sword to press down the heavens. This kind of imposing manner, this kind of tyranny, probably only existed in God Emperor Academy in the entire Sky Martial continent. Very powerful. The mark on his chest alone was enough to faintly shake Long Fei's mind. The stands were even more in an uproar. God Emperor Academy? Is it really the God Emperor Academy? Isn't it a scam? Long Fei also said, when we were fighting for supremacy, I said that whoever wins would get a spot in the God Emperor Academy's assessment. With you. The elder smiled and said, the rule of the competition is that only one person remains. Since you are two, I will make an exception and accept both of you. What do you think? He had nothing to do with the person who had pretended to be the God Emperor Academy. His heart was filled with joy as he saw the potential of Long Fei and Lin Yusheng. Long Fei was slightly shocked, and said, I'm not interested. Huh? The elder frowned slightly and said, do you know what God Emperor Academy means? I don't know. However, the thing I hate the most is studying. I've never been able to pass any university since I was young. I'm really not interested in any at all. Long Fei acted exceptionally arrogantly. God Emperor Academy. The strongest academy in Immortal Domain. In the past 100 years, there had not been a single person in the South Horizon region who had passed the examination to enter the God Emperor Academy. He actually refused. However, Long Fei also felt extremely bitter in his heart. Would Xie Qin, who had gone to the God Emperor Academy, still be able to save him? Do you want to step on Hong Tianjun? He simply could not do anything about going to the Immortal Domain. Thus, he refused in a very pretentious manner. His rejection was awesome. The old man said indifferently, God Emperor Academy is the #1 academy in Immortal Domain, are you sure you want to reject? With your current cultivation, you will not even qualify to enter the God Emperor Academy even if you were to cultivate for another 100 years. Now that I have broken through the barrier to promote you, this will be the best chance you will ever have in your entire life. You want to refuse? Indeed. Just as he said, it was too difficult to enter God Emperor Academy. However, what he said made Long Fei very unhappy, and he said, you can't even enter after cultivating for 100 years. A mere God Emperor Academy is nothing in my eyes. Acting cool? This old man is even more pretentious. The old man's gaze slightly tightened. He really did like Long Fei, and liked the hard work that Long Fei had put in, so there would always be surprises on his body. In Long Fei's battle with the fishmen, she had surprised him time and time again. Furthermore, even he could not understand the techniques that Long Fei had used. He really liked her, which was why he had the heart to love her. When Long Fei rejected him, he was slightly unhappy. What did God Emperor Academy's invitation mean? Even if you are a peerless genius, you probably don't have the qualifications. The elder's eyes grew cold as he said, do you know the consequences of rejecting me? No one has ever dared to refuse me. The sound of it sinking was like a violent strike. He did not release any of his strength, but... However, Long Fei felt a great pressure crush on his mind, and it felt very uncomfortable. Long Fei laughed disdainfully, what? If you can belittle me, can't I belittle God Emperor Academy? Underestimate the God Emperor Academy? Is this person crazy? God Emperor Academy is the warrior temple. Are you underestimating him? Are you qualified? Many people began to curse. It was because Long Fei had humiliated the sacred hall in their hearts. The old man laughed with great interest. How do you say you can pass the examination so easily? Long Fei arrogantly replied, of course. He had to go to the Immortal Domain. He wanted to find his father. His father must have gone to the Immortal Domain, so he could only go there to find him now, but not now. The old man started laughing and said faintly, good, 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 I'll be waiting for you. If you can pass the God Emperor Academy's examination with ease. Long Fei said strongly, how is it? The old man smiled and said, it doesn't matter to you. Long Fei said, all right, when the time comes, I want you to be my follower and call me boss. Ha! Ha ha ha. The old man laughed out loud, looked at Long Fei and said, sure. And then, the elder slightly moved and said, "Little guy, I'll be waiting for you." Just when he was about to leave, Lin Yusheng suddenly said, "Senior, can you take me away?" The old man stopped, looked at Long Fei, then looked at Lin Yusheng. "You can, your cultivation is not considered outstanding, but the strength in your body is not simple, and should barely be up to the standards of a God Emperor Academy student, but whether you can pass the assessment will depend on your luck." Lin Yusheng replied heavily, "Thank you." Then, Lin Yusheng looked at Long Fei, gritted his teeth, and said, "My path is different from yours. God's water tribe is destroyed, and I bear the heavy responsibility of rising to prominence in God's water tribe." Ding! The system had sounded out a notification sound. Long Fei did not dare to listen, because this was likely to be the notification sound of the 8 great King Kong missions that had failed. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support, and thank you brothers for your support. According to the agreement, you don't need to add anything more on March 1st, but Hai Yang will still add a bit more to express her thanks and everyone's support. No need to bother with the comments about the attacks in the book circles. I will only write a reply for those who like to read it. Those who don't like it, please leave. Hai Yang will kneel down to you. Leave, thank you very much. I've wasted your money again. Sorry. 8_841923566745. Everyone chose a different path. Everyone chose a different path. Long Fei could not force his own path onto others. No matter what choice Lin Yusheng made, he would respect them because this was his path. However, his heart was still tight because he did not want to see the 8 great Vajra become 7 great Vajra. Moreover, he could also confirm that Lin Yusheng was the God's Water King Kong of the 8 great Vajra. The system's voice rang out. Long Fei was a little nervous in his heart, but he still calmly faced it. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the God's Water King Kong of the 8 great Vajra quest. Hearing that, Long Fei became excited. As for what the reward was, it was no longer important. The important thing was that the 8 King Kong systems had completed it, which meant that Lin Yusheng was one of his 8 great King Kong. Actually, when Lin Yusheng finished speaking, he said in his heart, "Thank you, boss." Because of this sentence, the system had determined that he had completed the quest. That was the key. Lin Yusheng looked at Long Fei and said, "I want to choose my own path. If God's water tribe is not destroyed, I will follow you, but..." Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "Understood. Go to God Emperor Academy." Lin Yusheng looked at Long Fei and said again, "I'm sorry." Long Fei laughed and put a hand on his shoulder, then said, "You don't have to be so courteous after following me. Be a good boy at God Emperor Academy. Maybe one day I will even follow you." Lin Yusheng looked at Long Fei's hand on his shoulder and his body sank. He immediately moved to the side and with a look of fear, he said, "Big bro, I really don't have any hobbies in that area." The elder said lightly, "Let's go." Lin Yusheng nodded and said, "Senior, please." The old man looked at Long Fei and said once again, "You still have a chance to choose right now." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei interrupted him and said, "Old man, you can just give up on this idea. I won't be going now, when I want to go. Hee. You just wait and be my follower. Also, he is my brother. You must take good care of him for me." The elderly looked at Long Fei's confident expression and laughed, then said, "All right, I'll be waiting for you at God Emperor Academy. Kid, you must come at all costs." The aura on his body moved, and he was sent flying. Long Fei looked at the 2 people in the sky and said, "I will definitely go." Lin Yusheng hesitated for a moment, then said, "Boss, thank you." Finally, he hesitated for a moment before saying, "What kind of hobby is it to be able to stop or to stop? There's simply no good ending to it." Long Fei. Before he left, he still firmly believed that Long Fei was a gay. Long Fei was also speechless. On the stands, everyone was looking at Long Fei. "Little brother, it's such a pity. God Emperor Academy's invitation is definitely not ordinary. How could you just give up like that? That is an invitation from the God Emperor Academy. It would be great if you could give it to me." The tempo of a candidate stealing a spot in the exam and yet he still gives up. I wonder if he's brainless or has a cramp in his head. Unable to understand. There were so many people who refused the invitation of the Immortal Domain's #1 academy. They would never be able to find an opportunity in their entire lives. Long Fei rejected him without even thinking. There was no need to explain how awesome one's life was. Long Fei never regretted it. The God Emperor Academy would never leave, he would always stay in the Immortal Domain, with Hong Tianjun, and the heavens. With 3 years of time, there was still a year of time. If he did not screw Hong Tianjun over, even if he had to go to the heavens, he would definitely refuse. Long Fei's gaze swept across the stands and found that the scarecrow and the tree spirit had already disappeared. Finding them in the Yuling Island was definitely not an easy task. Long Fei still had some important matters to take care of, so he muttered in his heart, "I'll let you guys off for now." Ice and fire. Understood. When the Ice and Fire Association came out, Long Fei took a step forward and said, "Target, Sea Demon City." Looking at Long Fei flying in the sky, the scarecrow and tree spirit who were hiding in the shadows exhaled a deep breath of air. "We need to cultivate. Or we'll be in trouble the next time he comes back." Cultivate a big move. In another place. On the way to Immortal Domain. Lin Yusheng followed behind the old man quietly, and did not say a word. The old man seemed to be deep in thought as he muttered, "How much do you know about him?" Lin Yusheng was startled for a moment, and answered, "Not really. I only know that he was very strong, that he had saved me, that he was my boss, and that his name was Long Fei." The old man laughed blandly. "His name is Long Fei and his father is Long Zhantian. He is a member of the Fire Glass City S, and he is holding the supreme artifact of the southern region in his hands. The girl he likes has been snatched away by the #1 genius Hong Tianjun of the South Horizon region. We have an appointment of 3 years old, and right now, half the time has almost passed." The old man seemed to be extremely familiar with Long Fei. He knows all about these years. Lin Yusheng was stunned. The agreement of 3 years, the Heaven Sect, the #1 genius in the entire South Horizon region, Hong Tianjun? And then, Lin Yusheng secretly clenched his fists, and thought, "Boss, I will also attend the 3-year agreement. At that time I will definitely come to the Heaven Sect as a student of God Emperor Academy, and will definitely help you." Lin Yusheng looked at the old man's thoughtful expression, and asked, "Senior, how do you know so much? Your identity in God Emperor Academy is..." The old man replied, "His information has been in the God Emperor Academy for a long time. As for how I found out, it's a secret that I can't tell you for now. As for my identity, God Emperor Academies, the former president, boom. Don't lose him." He didn't think about it. What he thought about was, if boss can pass the examination easily, then wouldn't the former principal want to be his follower? Oh my god. The former dean, God Emperor Academy. What kind of concept was this? It was hard to imagine. Moreover, Lin Yusheng had a feeling that he came specifically for Long Fei. It was just that. Who would have thought that Long Fei would actually reject it? And it was because of Long Fei that Senior had set his eyes on him, so unknowingly, Long Fei owed him another favor. Lin Yusheng secretly vowed in his heart, "Boss, I will definitely rush to your 3-year agreement, I will definitely help you get everything back." There was still more than a year left. He wanted to repay this debt of gratitude. The old man looked into the distance and faintly smiled. He muttered to himself, "Everything is as he expected, ha ha ha." In another place. At this moment. http://Long Fei passed the heart of the tree, the dragon's blood and the spiritual feather to the Yang Huang ancestor and said, "I've gathered all the items for you. You handle the rest." Now that the 3 things were all here, it was time to let the Dark Crow King evolve into a 9 secret underworld finches. However, Long Fei's current thoughts were not on the 9 secret underworld finches, but rather, it was swallowing its saliva. Wiping his hands with a wretched face, he said, "I finally have time to draw." Chapter 18_841923564746. He wanted to draw in Yuling Island. He wanted to draw in Yuling Island. Only, the old man from God Emperor Academy appeared and interrupted his lottery draw. It would be great if he could get a few more peerless godly weapons and treasures before he entered the underworld. Immediately, Long Fei dove head first into the lottery system. As for how the Yang Huang ancestor would allow the 9 secret underworld finches to evolve, he was indeed interested, but he didn't want to interfere too much with what the Yang Huang ancestor was doing. It was just like how a good friend would avoid pressing the password when they were collecting money from an ATM big lottery draw. I'm here. A huge will appeared in his field of vision. On the turntable. Long Fei couldn't help but become excited. Good, 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 if you can get me one, hey. That would be great. Heh. Ding. Do you want to start the lottery system? Activate. Ding. Notification. The number of players who have drawn the lottery for free will be reduced by 1. It was also at this moment. With Long Fei's click, the wheel started to spin crazily. After a minute, it started to slow down and slowly move. Pangu's axe. It's over. Newer heaven mending rocks. It's over. Heaven flipping seal. It's F** king over there again. Good, good, good. Fushi blood vein, stop, 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 quickly stop for me. Long Fei jumped up hurriedly. At the same time, he became excited with a red face and a thick neck. Fushi is the human emperor, his blood vein is the human emperor's blood vein. That would definitely be great. It's going to stop, it's going to stop. Finally, the system sounded out. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei, thank you for participating. Damn it. Long Fei scolded loudly, is there anyone that can scam others like you? Do you think this is just for buying drinks? Thanks for your patronage. Ding. Do you want to continue the lottery draw? Continue. Long Fei raised his sleeves and said, I won't do. At this moment, the items in the wheel were refreshed. There were some that appeared last time, but there were also some that came out. F***CK. What the hell is a 7-dragon pearl? Saiyang mode. What's the situation? Long Fei muttered, do you want me to summon the dragon god to fulfill my wish? Activate. The wheel spun again. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whoosh whoosh whoosh. This time, Long Fei used all his strength to turn the wheel into a raging fire. It spun crazily for a full 10 minutes before stopping slowly. Saiyang, Saiyang. I. When the needle passed through Saya like an ant, thanking the person for his participation, Long Fei wanted to die so much that he kicked it out. However, he could not step onto the lottery wheel set up by the system. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei, you have received thanks for participating. Do you want to continue? Long Fei's entire being turned bad. Damn you, my luck is that bad. Thank you for participating twice in a row. I don't believe it, let's do it again. The item on the wheel was refreshed again. However, that big thank you participation is always so big, so dazzling. What lottery draw? It was a huge pit. This time, Long Fei did not immediately activate it. He clasped his hands together and with his eyes filled with incomparable piety, he said, Big Sister Guanyin, Tathagata has arrived in the Lord of Buddha, the heavenly divine Buddha, please bless me this time. Let me draw something good. He opened his eyes and bellowed, activate. The wheel began to turn again. The roulette slowly stopped, and then, Long Fei's eyes darkened, his eyes almost turning white as he said as if foaming at the mouth, I don't believe it anymore. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for getting a grade 1 elixir. It was just a fighter out of trash. Long Fei threw the spiritual herbs into the sea. Can you try to cheat me a little more? That's not right. The person I was asking for was wrong. In that instant, Long Fei exhaled and muttered, forced my enlargement stroke to be. All right. Long Fei's heart sank as he fiercely roared, Old Master, bless me. The lottery draw turntable started on the 4th level. The wheel started spinning crazily. 1 minute later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for drawing a 2nd rank yellow rank short sword. Long Fei was bitter and weak all over, and said, Old Master, I have so many of your treasured collections, limited edition, and all sorts of collected editions, how can you give me up like this? Short sword. Short your head. Long Fei took it out and threw it into the ocean. Because of his strong power, he killed a level 3 sea goblin immediately. Long Fei was also extremely puzzled. Seeing that there was only one free lottery draw left, Long Fei muttered, "Big bro had to earn these free lottery draw a few times already and almost lost my life. System, can you be more deceptive?" "Who?" Long Fei stood still, looking at the wheel that was refreshed again. The idea moved. "Last time, whip for me." This time Long Fei did not beg. Instead, he stared at the wheel, waiting for the needle to slowly move. Suddenly, Long Fei's pupils shrank rapidly as his entire body trembled. 3-rate peerless technique. He released his 8-fold elemental energy. Long Fei suddenly roared, "Demacia!" Boom! He didn't know if it was because he said that Demacia had an impact on the needle, or because his shout scared the system, but the pointer on the wheel moved slightly. This was it. Thanks for your participation. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for drawing Heart Sutra. Huff. Long Fei let out a long sigh, and muttered, "Finally, I managed to draw out a decent thing." Long Fei's little heart could not bear it. And then, Long Fei quickly opened up the system to check. Secret skill, Heart Sutra grade, Divine. Consumption, 100 true chi points per second cooldown, none description, Heart Sutra, the power to suppress devils and refine ghosts. Once released, it is akin to the possession of the simulacrum of Kittigaba. All attacks of the player will deal multiple times the damage to the demon. Description 2, Heart Sutra. Description 3, Heart Sutra has the power of purification. It can purify the evil thoughts within evil spirits, and the evil thoughts refined will be absorbed by the player and become a wish. Long Fei's heart moved slightly as he thought to himself, "The system is really considerate to me, knowing that I have to go to the underworld. Hey. Cultivate." And then, Long Fei thought back to the results of his previous 4 draws, and looking at the level 4 treasures on the roulette, he could not help but scold out, "Caring your head, if you give me another good thing, will I die? Would a Sire transformation result in death? At least some Pan-Gu bloodline or something." There were too many grievances towards Long Fei in the lottery. Ding. Do you want to continue? Chapter 2. Table of Contents, 8_841923564747. The system sounded out once again. If they were to continue, it would be deducting their 100,000 points. The system sounded out once again. If they were to continue, it would be deducting their 100,000 points. Long Fei was immediately angered, and said, "Continue your sister. I might as well go and play with the fishing machine." At this moment, Long Fei moved and said to the Yang Huang ancestor, "Ancestor, is it done yet?" The old patriarch did not respond. Just as Long Fei put away the idea and was about to exchange his points for the fishing machine's bullets, a sound came out from inside the broken pubes. Yang Huang ancestor said weakly, "It's about time, we just have to wait for him to evolve himself." "Huh?" Long Fei's heart sank, and said, "Ancestor, what's wrong?" Yang Huang ancestor smiled indifferently, "Nothing, I just used too much strength. I need to rest for a while." He was like an old man who had run out of energy. He didn't even have the strength to speak. As soon as his voice faded, it was as if the Yang Huang ancestor had disappeared into Long Fei's body, and he could not even sense his existence. "What in the world did I do to get so tired?" Long Fei muttered. He still wanted to ask if they could get him some holy artifact to supplement his body, but the Yang Huang ancestor didn't respond. It was too tiring. In order to save Dark Crow King, he had almost used up all of his profound chi. However, other than Raven King helping Long Fei enter the underworld, he had other reasons why the Yang Huang ancestor was doing this. This time, when he woke up again, his strength would increase. Because there was once a power within the Raven King's body. He did not tell this to Long Fei. Half an hour passed. Boom. The God's Devil ancient case suddenly moved, and the box automatically opened. A colorful nether bird flew out with a long tail, and its entire body flickered with the aura of hell. He flew into the air, landed beside Long Fei, lowered his head, and said without any strength in his voice, "Master, 9 secret underworld finches." Long Fei's mind shook, and he muttered, "This is the 9 secret underworld finches, the divine bird that can freely pass through the underworld." The 9 secret underworld finches said, "I can enter the underworld, but it's not free access. Master, come on up, I'll take you into the underworld and find the 3 souls and 7 souls that you're looking for." The 9 secret underworld finches did not describe her power in detail. Long Fei said, "Can I go now?" The 9 secret underworld finches said, "Yes, Master, you can go anytime you want." Long Fei replied, "All right, let's return to see Demon City first. I also need to make some preparations." He did not immediately enter the underworld. What kind of place was the underworld? It was definitely extremely dangerous, and stealing Xieqin's soul and spirit was even more so dangerous. Long Fei did not dare to let down his guard, he had to prepare some things. Back to see Demon City. Long Fei bought all of the spirit grass in the Demon City. All sorts of things. More than 1,000 spirit stones had been wasted. Alchemy were burning money. If one wanted to become an alchemist, then they had to burn a pile of money. All of the alchemy masters, refiners, and inscriptionists. In addition to his talent, a series of auxiliary method masters would also need to have a huge amount of money as a backup, crazily burning away money. Demon Imperial Palace. Ever since the old devil Red Spirit was killed, this place had been turned into ruins, and had been robbed by the people inside the sea demons. After that, no one dared to enter again. In a clean courtyard, Long Fei took out the Xianming Devil Pill. This is a magic pill that can raise one's realm, and also a deathly pellet. It can crazily stimulate the potential in your body, and at a high level of cultivation, but after a certain period of time, your body will wither, and then die. When Long Fei exposed this Xianming Devil Pill, he was thinking of when he could improve this pellet and eliminate the side effects of the pellet. If we can eliminate the side effects of this Xianming Devil Pill, then... Long Fei exhaled a breath of relief in his heart. The idea moved, enchanted. To refine a magic pill, one must be bewitched. Long Fei transformed into his sky demon form and then summoned his magic panacea furnace. He was not in a hurry to refine a Xianming Devil Pill, so he placed the pill inside instead. Slowly, the Xianming Devil Pill began to decompose from the furnace. Long Fei looked at them very carefully, taking all of the broken down spirit grass into his heart. These were the key to refining the Xianming Devil Pill. In order to improve his pill, the first step was to refine it. He would look for ways to improve the pill concocting process, just like he had looked for the Dragon Spirit Pill. What a complicated program. There are 16 different kinds of spirit grass, and every single one of them are incomparably fierce spirit grass. Merely fusing together these fierce and medicinal spirit grass is already extremely difficult. Long Fei frowned, he had never refined a magic pill before. Magic pill. It was to be more like a mad demon. Without a care for the consequences. Just like Xianming Devil Pill, the 16 types of valiant spirit grass were like incomparably fierce aphrodisiacs that could cause one to instantly become excited and powerful, however. This way, his body would be hollow. The Xianming Devil Pill was more than 100 times stronger than the Yang strengthening medicine and directly swallowed all the profound qi in his body. An hour passed. Long Fei clearly understood the attributes of the 16 types of fierce demon spirit grass. Huff. Long Fei calmed down and said, "Let's begin." The true qi moved. As the demonic qi entered, the auras of the magic panacea furnace started to converge. Long Fei stared at the pill furnace with a strange technique. He threw a spirit grass into the pill furnace and it started to seep into the furnace, paying attention to every change in the spirit grass. Ding. Refinery failure. Ding. Refinery failure. Ding. After repeated failures, Long Fei was not discouraged and continued to refine. It had been 3 days since the failure of the first spirit grass, and now he could finally bring out the 16 types of spirit grass's fierce medicinal properties. Within 3 days, he raised the alchemy technique to the 6th level of the profound stage. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's still not enough. Again, Long Fei would stop to summarize every time he failed, and after that, he would start to refine crazily. The 5th day. Ding. Refining is a success. Long Fei was secretly happy. In these 5 days, I finally know how to refine Shenming Devil Pill. The rest of the time will be spent on refining Magic Pill. At this moment, Long Fei opened the God's Devil Ancient case and faintly said, "Now it depends on how much you can help me with." A while ago, Long Fei had categorized the spirit grass he had bought, placed all the spirit grass that were used to refine Shenming Devil Pill into the God's Devil Ancient case, and had them frantically grow again. Strongest upgrade system. The energy in the pool could make these mature spirit grass become stronger again, and increase the medicinal properties of their spirit grass's fierce demon grass. Since it's a fierce force that stimulated the potential within my body, then I will let it become even more powerful, and use its unyielding strength to break through the Shenming Devil Pill's shackles. This was Long Fei's crazy idea. Chapter 38_841923564748. Breakthrough force with force. Breakthrough force with force. You want to be tough? I will let you reach the limit of your ferocity. After being nourished by the God's Devil Ancient case, the normal strong spirit grass had become 10 times stronger than before. Every single one of the 16 spirit grass were like this. What kind of concept was this? Insane demon. That was why lunatics thought like this. Whether one could grasp such a powerful force or not, the furnace would definitely explode. Huff. Long Fei let out a light breath, clearing his heart of all distracting thoughts, and allowed himself to enter into a space unique to Sky Demon. It was a world that belonged solely to the devils. And then, demonic energy surged out as the true chi combusted crazily. The magic panacea furnace moved. Just like how he used Shenming Devil Pill S, the ferocious energy released by Spirit Grass S was even stronger, and they were uncontrollable under the churning of the demonic energy. Half a minute later, boom! The magic panacea furnace was blasted away. The furnace exploded. However, the magic panacea furnace was a pretty good treasure. Even though it had exploded, it did not suffer any damage. Continue. Boom. Some were explosion furnaces. Every time he released an additional spirit grass, the force would become even more violent, and he was completely unable to control it. Again. Boom. Refinery failure. Again. Refinery failure. Crazy, crazed, refined like a demon. What would the underworld encounter? Long Fei was unable to imagine that the only thing he could do was to try his best to prepare. It was already impossible for him to level up any further in a short period of time. As he was currently at the 5th stage of the War Master, he would need nearly 200 million experience to level up. Right now, he could only improve himself through the Shenming Devil Pill. Once the magic pill was successfully refined, by consuming it, one's cultivation would continuously increase by several realms. 1 day passed. Long Fei failed every single time. The next day passed. There wasn't the slightest attribute or side effect of an incomplete pill. The 3rd day passed. There were a few more broken pills. An entire 8 days had passed, and Long Fei's alchemy technique had risen to the 9th level of the profound stage. Ding. Refining is a success. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for refining a new pill. Please name it. Hair. Long Fei's entire body was pitch black, just like the coal mining teenager. His entire body was completely black, and he hadn't bathed for nearly half a month, causing his entire body to stink. Hearing such a wonderful sound, Long Fei let out a long breath. I have to level up, I have to. Huff. Long Fei opened up the system to check. Medicinal pills, improved version of Shenming Devil Pill, temporarily unnamed, grade, Earth Stage 3rd rank, Magic Pill, True Chi, 0 points pill description. When the medicinal pill enters the body, it will stimulate the meridians in the body with a violent and forceful force. It will cause the body to suddenly double in size and strength. Description 2. This pill can increase the user's cultivation base by 3 levels within 5 minutes. After 5%, the user's cultivation level will recover and cannot be used again for 12 hours. Description. This pill cannot be used beyond War God realm. There is no effect. Rub. 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 Long Fei consecutively said the word fuck 3 times in a row. He was so excited that it was a mess as he said, "Awesome. Enlarging pills. Ha ha ha." To be able to make a person's size and strength grow, wasn't that the same as the peerless attributes in the game? Long Fei moved a bit and muttered, "Could it be that when I use my alchemy, I can use the peerless attribute to merge it into the pills?" When Long Fei was refining the pellet, Wu Shuang never stopped. Without a strength of 8 times, he was unable to control the explosive power contained in the pill furnace. The peerless attribute was being absorbed. This. Long Fei was not sure either, but he knew that he had succeeded. Ding. "Please name the player." The system sounded out once again. Long Fei muttered, "The strong power is called the strong pill? This name is not too impressive." Suddenly, Long Fei thought about the effects of the pill being magnified and laughed. "It's called steel mixture. The name was given by him." Ding. "Name confirmed." Huff. Long Fei did not stop and said, "Continue with the refinement. Since I can raise my cultivation by 3 levels, I'll have to forge more of these pills. If I can't defeat them in the future, I'll just have to swallow some medicine." Another day passed. Long Fei had refined 10 steel mixture S. It was not every time that he succeeded, the success rate was very low. Being able to refine 10 pellets was already quite amazing. On the 10th day, Long Fei moved and shouted towards the sky, "9 secret underworld finches, you can enter the underworld now." The 9 secret underworld finches was not his, and was also unable to enter his war pet space. When Long Fei's voice fell, in less than half a second, the 9 secret underworld finches appeared by Long Fei's side. As respectfully as before, it asked, "Master, are you ready?" Long Fei kept the magic panacea furnace and smiled, "All right." And then, he jumped onto the 9 secret underworld finches' back and said, "Target's underworld, appear." The 9 secret underworld finches cried out. The moment his voice reached the sky, space began to distort like a bottomless black hole. The 9 secret underworld finches reminded, "Master, you're done." Shua. Once inside the black hole, the 9 secret underworld finches flapped its wings and said, "I need a little time." Long Fei laughed, "I'm not in a hurry." "Right. What is your relationship with the Yang Huang ancestor?" Long Fei casually asked, and as soon as he finished speaking he felt that something was amiss, and immediately said, "You don't have to answer." The 9 secret underworld finches did not hide anything and said, "He was my previous master. After he fell, I followed Samsara, but I never thought that my master was still alive, and I could see him again." All of this. When he said this, he did not continue. Long Fei also did not continue asking, and thought in his heart, "No wonder Yang Huang ancestor is so nervous. If I had fallen and been reborn, I would be so nervous when I saw Xiao Bai." Actually, Long Fei did not know. Inside the body of the Dark Crow King was the power of the seal that once existed within his body. Only when the Dark Crow King evolved into a 9 secret underworld finches would it awaken and be absorbed by him. Yang Huang ancestor was constantly devouring holy artifact S to make his residual soul become stronger, and also to fuse with the power of the seal. He wanted to become stronger. He wanted to slaughter his way back to the Chaos Realm. He wanted to take back everything that belonged to him. Woo! Equals semi-floating life plus, the 9 secret underworld finches cried out and said to Long Fei, "Master, we have reached the underworld, the bridge of helplessness is right in front." While they were talking, Long Fei entered another world, an incomparably real world. He clenched his fists tightly and said, "Big Sister Qin, I will definitely revive you." Chapter 4. Thank you. Tears of Ching Cheng, 2 strong firepower support, thank you. 8_841923564749. Underworld. Underworld. It's not like the TV movies. This was more like a real world. To be exact. This was a real world that belonged to ghosts. The 9 secret underworld finches put Long Fei down and said, "Master, I cannot go in. I can only bring you here with me. When you want to go back, shout out towards the sky and I will appear." Long Fei said gratefully, "Thank you." Long Fei jumped down, and the 9 secret underworld finches disappeared into the horizon. In front of him was a bridge, A very, very long bridge. On the other side of the bridge was a very, very, very large city. Just the city walls towered in the sky, and one could not see the end of it. Line up. Do you want to cut in line? Get lost. One after another, they shouted at Long Fei with fierceness. They were like real people. He looked at Long Fei's pitch-black face. A ghost laughed and said, "Are you a coal digger? Could it be that the landslide smashed you to death? This is the first time I've seen something so black." Long Fei looked at himself and thought, his clothes were tattered and his face was black, he looked just like a coal digger. He said disdainfully, "Damn, so what if I dig coal? Can't a coal miner be reborn? Say another word, do you believe that I won't kill you?" He had a domineering look on his face. "I dig coal, I'm glorious." At this moment, the group in front of them was in an uproar. A few ugly men who were tall and big started punching and kicking an old man while cursing at him. "Old man, you're still going to die even without money. Hurry up and give me your dreams. If you don't hand over a spirit stone today, then don't even think about entering this city. Old bastard." Bang, bang, bang. A violent beating. The old man laid on the ground for a long time without being able to get up. On the other side of the group, there were also a dozen or so people kneeling on the ground, including women, children, and old men. Just like the old man who was beaten up a moment ago, they were all people who had no money to pay for their reincarnation fees. Long Fei muttered, and said, "Damn, there are people who collect protection fees in this underworld too. Bro, what's going on up ahead?" That person turned his head and stared at Long Fei with disdain. "How would I know? It's not like I die every day, it's also the first time I die." Who wouldn't die for the first time? However, someone from the Oxhead gang replied, "They specialize in paying protection fees on the Bridge of Helplessness. If you want to cross the Bridge of Helplessness, you must pay a spirit stone. Of course, you can also pay the same price. If anyone dares not pay it, it will be a violent beating, and they can't even enter the city yet. Do you know the consequences of not entering the city? Lonely soul, wild ghost." Long Fei looked at him and asked with a little curiosity, "Brother, how do you know so clearly? You often die." The man immediately stared at Long Fei and said, "You frequently die. I was a writer in my previous life. In this kind of situation, I can easily guess. F***ck. Novelists are such an awesome profession. In my previous life, I loved to read novels, but it seems like you're not that old yet, but why are you writing a novel here?" Long Fei was even more curious. The man looked up to the sky and sighed. "You've overworked yourself to death." Another person asked, "What do you mean overworked? How come I've never heard of such a way of dying? Is it good?" That person said, "I've been urged by the readers every day, writing all day and every day. I've even been urged, but even my wife doesn't have the time to touch me. That's fine. But, sigh." And they were even scolded. It was a terrible scolding. "You can't imagine, my front door is blocked, just like a shrew swearing at a street. I dare to write every day and every night, I dare to write a script, and I die just like that. If there's a next life, I won't enter this line of business even if I die." Long Fei began to sympathize and he couldn't help but ask, "What kind of novels did you write?" Well, that's the kind of novel." The person muttered to himself. Long Fei thought quickly and said, "Damn, so it's Master Huang, are you still writing in the underworld? Maybe the underworld has your readers, you might be able to make a living. Didn't I just say it? Even if I die, I won't write anymore," the man said excitedly. At this moment, the few robust men from the Oxhead gang walked over and glared at the man. "What's your name? Where do you live? How is your family? Speak the truth. If you dare to lie in the slightest, then that is what will happen to you." That person honestly said it out. Just as he finished announcing his name, that savage brute's eyes immediately lit up and he laughed excitedly. "Ha ha ha. Looking forward to the stars and the moon, I've finally brought you here. Master Huang, I'm your idol. No, I'm a fan of yours. You're finally dead. Hurry up and write, I just want to see that sister-in-law's allure." That person's gaze turned cold as he said lightly, "Uncle, I'll be writing now." F***CK. "What did you say?" The evil ghost was immediately enraged. "What did you seal?" Master Huang immediately said, "I will write, I will write." The evil ghost patted Master Huang's shoulder and laughed. "That's right, write obediently. I'm your fan, and our Oxhead gang is also your fan. If you write well, hey. From today onwards, you don't have to worry about being in the underworld anymore, we'll protect you." Immediately, many people in the crowd looked at him with envy. A lot of people even said, "I can write novels too. I can even write stories about the temptation of this old lady. Do you want to read them? I know how to seduce the old man." F***CK, "You guys are too weak. I know how to write gay lures." The evil ghost glared and shouted, "Your father knows how to describe the allure of chrysanthemum. Do you have any comparing with Master Huang? Hurry up and hand over the toll. If one of you is missing, I'll kill you all. Men, bring Master Huang directly into the city." "Yes, sir." The evil ghost looked at Master Huang's back with a face of worship. "You won't have to worry about it for the rest of your life. Ha ha ha." At this time, the evil ghost stared at Long Fei and said, "Kid, what is your name? Where do you live? What class is it?" "Huh." Long Fei replied, "Long Fei." The evil ghost flipped through a small notebook in its hands and scratched its head. "I don't have that name." And then, he wasn't in the mood to look up more and said, "Hurry up and pay me the protection fee." Long Fei replied, I don't have any spirit stones on me, but I'm an alchemy master. Can I use pills in place of spirit stones?" "Huh." The evil ghost's spirit shook and said, "You're an alchemy master?" Long Fei replied, "Yes." The evil ghost immediately became excited. "What sort of pills do you know how to refine?" Long Fei said, "I can refine any kind of pill." The evil ghost disdainfully said, "Brat, boasting in front of me will have very serious consequences." Long Fei said, "I don't dare." The evil ghost replied, "I don't think you dare, kid. Since you can refine all kinds of pills, then refine a mighty steel spear for me. Strongest upgrade system. Wait a moment. I just happen to have this pill." Long Fei reached his hand into the crevice and pulled out a black pill. Chapter 5. Our monthly tickets aren't too bad. Those brothers who have monthly tickets can help support it. The sea is extremely grateful. 8_841923565750. The evil ghost leader looked at Long Fei and thought for a while, then said, "Brat, if you can't take it out, there is still a place for mining in the underworld. When the time comes, you can dig a hole through the coal for me." The evil ghost leader looked at Long Fei and thought for a while, then said, "Brat, if you can't take it out, there is still a place for mining in the underworld. When the time comes, you can dig a hole through the coal for me." Clank, clank, clank. Long Fei made up the music for himself and took out a black pill from his bosom. He said to the chief evil spirit in a low voice, "Do you know what this is called?" His face was filled with excitement. The evil ghost shuddered and asked, "What pill?" "Heh. This thing is amazing." Long Fei lowered her voice and said, "I would never give an ordinary person to him. You're different. Someone as mighty and powerful as yourself is definitely worthy of this pellet." The evil ghost leader was extremely proud as he said, "Quickly tell me what pill it is." Long Fei said with a serious face, "Listen carefully. This is the best pellet you can find in the 9 heavens and 10 earth. After consuming it, it will rotate 360 degrees and after that, it will continue to spin and Thomas will not be able to sleep in it 7 times in one night." "Brother Wei. Viagra?" Looking at the black pill in front of him, the evil ghost leader squinted his eyes and said, "Brat, don't you know how to mess with me?" Long Fei immediately replied, "I don't dare." The evil ghost leader sneered, "Lung you brat, you don't have the guts to do that." After he finished speaking, he took the pill and was about to throw it into his mouth, but was instantly suppressed by Long Fei, and said, "This pill's medicinal properties are incomparably fierce. If you take it now, I'm worried." Hearing that, the evil ghost leader immediately laughed, and said, "Ha ha ha. Not bad at all. Today, I managed to catch an untactful girl, and I just so happened to be able to use this awesome pill to boost my mood." The ghost head lewdly smiled. Long Fei also laughed along. Suddenly, the evil ghost leader laughed coldly and shouted, "How many of these pills do you have on you?" Long Fei slightly asked, "How much do you want?" The evil ghost replied, "My physique is different from others. Others can't get out of bed 7 times a night. I can't get out of bed 21 times a night." Long Fei stared blankly for a moment, then said while looking at him, "You really are a dragon within ghosts. Wait a moment, I'll look for it again." Finished. Long Fei rubbed his hands together, left and right, all over the place, and thought in his heart, "Luckily I didn't take a bath for the past half-month, otherwise, it would have been really difficult to solve this problem." Not long after, Long Fei took out the 2 wages and said, "These are the last 2. There's really nothing else." And then, Long Fei acted as if he was extremely unwilling, and said, "Ghost head, can you leave me one? This is my last 2. Bring it here, boy." The evil ghost leader snatched the pill and said disdainfully, "With your small physique, you would probably be a 5-second man. This pill would be a waste if I gave it to you. Even if it has a 7-fold effect, you would still be a 35-second man. What's the use of that?" Long Fei forced a smile, nodded, and said, "All right. 5 seconds male. Let's see how many seconds you can last tonight." The evil ghost head kicked Long Fei's butt, and said, "Enter the city." Next, the corner of Long Fei's mouth curled into a cold smile, and he thought to himself, "Tonight, you're going to fly to the sky." Walking on the bridge that led to Demonic City, Long Fei slowly walked and kept looking. He didn't see the legendary Grandma Meng and couldn't help but ask, "Didn't they say that there is Grandma Meng on the Bridge of Helplessness?" Bridge of Helplessness? Grandma Meng's elixir? Only those who have entered the cycle of reincarnation have the right to enjoy it. Us? You don't have the qualifications yet. Wait a moment. It seems like the underworld is truly different from what I imagined. Long Fei's heart tensed up. Where can I go to find 3 souls and 6 souls? Let's enter the city first. Phantom Capital. 4 ghosts, this was the first stop. It was also where the new ghost was registered. This was the King of Hell. There were also 2 big gangs, the Oxhead Gang and the Horseface Hall. These 2 gangs controlled everything here. The King of Hell was the supreme commander, and under normal circumstances, he wouldn't step in unless something huge happened. And today, something big had happened. Because he could feel someone's aura entering this place. Humans and ghosts were different. No matter how powerful one was, one could not enter this place. King Yenluo's forehead turned sinister. Who is it? What's the matter with entering my underworld? Could it be because of my book of life and death? No way. I have to find him first. He's human, and I have to turn him into a ghost so that I don't have to worry about anything. King Yama laughed out loud. And then, the idea sunk and passed on to the Oxhead and Horseface of the Fragrance Inn in the True Beauty's lair. Instantly, the 2 of them jumped up from the woman's stomach. Which one of you can find this person? The position of the Ghost City's Vice City Lord is his. Remember, you can't mess up the order of the Ghost City. This is my territory. If you want the higher-ups to see the disturbance here, then there's no need for you 2 to exist. The 2 of them shook. They had fought for the position of Vice City Lord for their entire lives, so this time, they had to determine who was the better one. Oxhead said fiercely, "The Vice City Lord position is mine." Horseface did not want to be outdone and said, "Heh. Oxhead, are you the only one who is qualified to be a Vice City Lord?" "I am the only one qualified, ha ha ha." The 2 quickly left, returning to their respective halls. Go and check it out immediately. Remember to capture him alive. Half a day later. Long Fei searched for a long time, but didn't find anything, and even inquired a few times about where the 3 souls and 7 souls were. However, it wasn't as if he didn't achieve anything after all this time. He knew one thing. This ghost city was one of the territories under the jurisdiction of the Yama King. If he wanted to find someone, he would definitely be able to find him easily. The King of Hell is Hades Manor. Long Fei looked at the most imposing and tyrannical building in the center of the city, and it was as if a primordial wild beast was roaring. No matter what, I have come, and will not return until I find Xie soul and body. To the residents of Hade. Searching for Xie 3 souls and 7 souls could not be considered a quest, so there were no hints. In Ghost City, Long Fei was running around like a headless fly. He didn't have a clue. Of course. This was his first time in the underworld, so he was not familiar with the situation here. Long Fei slowly walked in the direction of the residents of Hades. The streets were in a state of chaos. The Oxhead gang has matters to attend to. Those who are unrelated can just scram to the side. Who dares to anger Lousy? Lousy will make sure he can't even be a ghost. A savage evil spirit bellowed. A dozen or so members of the Oxhead gang rushed into an inn and brought their boss out. They slapped him to the ground and said, "Old man, I hate it when people stand and talk to me. Tell me, is there anyone special staying here today?" At this moment. It was the same for the other inn. However, it was another group of people. However, they were all from the Horseface Hall. They were all incredibly vicious. Long Fei's heart trembled. Have I been discovered? Chapter 1. Many thanks to Alliance Master Xiao Yarrow for his strong firepower support. Hai Yang is extremely grateful. Table of contents, 8_8419235671. Humans and ghosts were different. Humans and ghosts were different. Humans had 3 souls and 7 souls, but ghosts did not. However, the ghost city was larger than any city, and it would be extremely difficult to find a person within the billions of ghosts. Moreover, the people of the Horseface Hall could not even tell if Long Fei was a human or a ghost. There were only 5 people in Ghost City that could distinguish between man and ghost. Black and white impermanence. Oxhead and Horseface. He was now the Ghost City's boss, the King of Hell. The 5 of them could be differentiated. However, Long Fei did not know about any of this. Looking at the ferocious looks of the 2 gangs, he concluded that they were targeting him. I've been discovered. He was discovered as soon as he entered the city. Seems like this King Yama is much stronger than I imagined. Don't worry about that. Go to the residents of Hades and ask the King of Hell directly. Long Fei didn't have time to slowly search for it. Long Fei forgave them and walked towards an alley before going around it. Deep within an alley. Humph. I suspect that the stranger we are looking for is hiding in your room. Our leader said that if anyone dares to stop us from finding him, then that person is the enemy of our Oxhead gang. A savage evil spirit bellowed. A beautiful woman kneeled on the ground. My lord, there really is no one else in this room. There is only my child and I. There really is no one else. If you say there's none, there's none. I haven't searched yet. The evil ghost coldly snorted and lowered its head to look. Seeing the beautiful face of the beautiful woman, it looked down at her chest from above. Its Adam's apple rolled, and after swallowing a bit of saliva, it said excitedly, "So big." At this moment, the 5 of them walked out from the room and said, "Boss, no." They had all sorts of valuable things in their hands. The beautiful woman immediately knelt down. "My lord, these are all of our possessions. You can't take them all, just leave some for us mother and son." The evil ghost smiled evilly and said, "Stand up to speak." The beautiful woman was stunned. She slowly stood up and lowered her head, not daring to look at the evil ghost. "So beautiful. That's what I like." Finished. Wait for me at the door. I need to deal with my physical condition first. The 5 imps laughed sinisterly. One of them said, "Boss, after you finish it, can you let us have a good time too? We brothers haven't had a good time in a long time." Ha ha ha. No problem. The evil ghost head was incomparably excited. He carried the beautiful woman in his arms and almost drooled as he said, "Little beauty, let's go have some fun." The beautiful woman struggled fiercely and said, let me go, you beast, let me go." Ha ha ha. How do you know my name is Qin Shou? Ha ha ha. He became even more excited as the beautiful woman struggled. "Come on, little beauty. You'll definitely feel great." And here it is. The 7 to 8-year-old child ran up and bit onto the thigh of the beast, not letting it go. He did not say a word, but continued to bite. Ayo! Chinsha screamed and kicked the child away. He shouted in anger, "Kill him! You dare to bite me! You must be tired of living." Immediately, the 5 little ghosts immediately rushed up and began to beat the little child. The child curled up on the ground with his eyes wide open. There was no scream, not even a grunt. Hearing this, the woman's face immediately grew pale and she stopped struggling. "My lord, I beg you, do whatever you want me to do. Don't kill my son, I beg you, don't kill my son, okay? I can do anything." Ha ha ha. Chinsho laughed wildly and shouted at his 5 underlings, "Stop fighting, spare this brat's life first. Little beauty, if you serve me well, I'll spare his life, ha ha ha." The child looked at the beautiful woman. The beautiful woman smiled and said, "I will be fine. I will be fine." Her heart felt as though it was being torn apart. Ha ha ha. Chinsho laughed loudly, just as he was about to step into the room. Suddenly, a human figure flashed by. He silently stood behind him. "Who dares to disrupt my plans? You're looking for death, aren't you?" At this moment, Long Fei moved, teleport. Shua. With one step, he suddenly appeared in front of Chinsha Beast. Both of his hands clapped together and struck Chinsha's head, directly grabbing his head, releasing the power of Mountain Hit Fist from both of his arms. The shadow of the large power King Kong ape superimposed over his body. Slowly, Chinsha struggled at a distance, wailing in pain. "Who are you? You dare to attack me? Do you know who your father is?" Long Fei said darkly, "I don't care who you are. Die." Crack. The skull exploded, and blood continued to flow out from the cracks in the skull. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating evil spirits and Qin beasts for obtaining 900 experience, 500 true Qi and 1 energy values. A system notification rang out. It was also at this time. The other 5 kids in the yard turned pale. They put down their things and ran out. Long Fei said coldly, "Did I let you leave?" Before he finished his sentence, his figure had already disappeared. With a move of his right hand, the dragon Salia was pulled out. Shua. The body of one of the little ghosts turned to dust and disappeared. Another stab. Another slash. 5 slashes in a row, 5 little ghosts were instantly killed, and Long Fei realized that the Dragon Salia S were able to deal explosive damage to these little imps. The Dragon Salia itself could deal more damage to the evil beings. Plus, the anger in Long Fei's heart became even more arrogant. After taking care of the evil spirits in the courtyard, Long Fei turned around to look at the beautiful woman who was hugging a child. Then, he comforted her and said, "It's fine, it's fine." During this period, the bald-headed child stared at Long Fei. His eyes were special. Long Fei also looked at him, feeling that this child was not simple. After being beaten to such a state, he did not make a sound. At this moment, something strange happened. The 6 ghosts that had just died released a fluorescent light from their location. The light was being absorbed by the child. At this moment, the beautiful woman was extremely nervous. She used her body to shield the child from Long Fei's sight. "What kind of power is this?" Long Fei muttered. The beautiful lady said nervously, "It's not power, it's not power." The child did not avoid it. While he was absorbing the light, he was still staring at Long Fei. His eyes were gloomy, even more terrifying than those evil spirits. The way he was staring was extremely terrifying. And Long Fei is also a madman. "You like to look at me? Then I'll just show you enough." He just kept looking at the child. The two of them stared at each other for a full 10 minutes. Suddenly, the child started to speak. He looked at Long Fei and said, "You're not a ghost." Chapter 2. Thank you, Chief Xiao Yao, for your strong firepower support, thank you. 8_841923567552. You're not a ghost. You're not a ghost. As soon as he finished, the space between Long Fei's eyebrows tightened. In that instant, The entire yard quieted down, so quiet that it was terrifying. Long Fei's eyes flashed with a trace of light. She turned her head to look at Long Fei, then looked at the child and said, "Linger, don't speak nonsense. In Ghost City, everyone is a ghost." Suddenly, the beautiful woman reacted with pleasant surprise. "Linger, you can talk? You spoke up, ha ha. You can talk now." He was incomparably happy. Incomparable excitement. She had never been happier. For an entire 8 years, from birth until now, he had never uttered a single word. Even when he was crying, he had never cried. If he wasn't used to being beaten or scolded, he would never make a sound. "That you're not a ghost" was the first sound he made since he was born. The lady was so happy that tears started streaming down her face. Seeing that, Long Fei laughed. "Your mother is right, everyone in Ghost City is a ghost, I am also a ghost." The child was still looking at Long Fei as he said, "You're not a ghost, you're a human." In that instant, Long Fei's eyes became colder. He didn't know how the child in front of him could tell that he was human. Even those evil leaders couldn't tell that he was human, so how could a child tell? The beautiful woman was startled. She seemed to have felt the coldness in Long Fei's eyes and pulled her son closer. "Linger, don't speak nonsense." Now, Long Fei was sure that the entire Ghost City was searching for him. If his whereabouts were to be leaked out. Long Fei slightly said, "Since you know that I am a human, then." The beautiful woman's expression changed, and she immediately kowtowed to Long Fei. It was Linger who said that, it was Linger who said that. She was too worried. Long Fei smiled lightly. "I won't do anything to you." Who? Long Fei had finally felt the hearts of all the parents in the world today. Long Fei looked at the calm and collected child seriously, and then, he turned and prepared to leave. At this moment, the child suddenly took a step forward and asked, "Can I follow you?" Suddenly, when Long Fei was unprepared, he turned around and looked at the child again, and laughed. "You are still a child, you should have done some things that you should have done at your age, not followed me." The beautiful woman also quickly pulled her son back into her embrace and said, "Linger." The child still had a serious expression as he said, "I want to follow you." The beautiful woman became even more anxious and said, "Linger." Long Fei asked with great interest, "Why are you following me?" The child looked at Long Fei and said, "Because you can give me a different world. I want to return to the world that belongs to you." Long Fei's face darkened. The beautiful woman's expression changed drastically as her body trembled. She hugged her son tightly and said, Don't. Linger, please don't." Long Fei said, "You want to return young?" The child nodded, "Yes, young. I want revenge." The beautiful woman was shocked once again. Her eyes were filled with fear as she kept saying, "No Linger, no Linger." At this moment, the system sounded out. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for coming across the 8 Great King Kong mission subduing the Yuling Guardian Warrior. Mission level, a time of mission, 1 year task reward, 1,000 experience, 80,000 true chi, 10,000 points. Yuling Guardian Warrior? Long Fei's heart sank, and thought to himself while looking at the child, "He's one of my 8 Great King Kong? No way, he's just a kid." In that instant, the system beep sounded again. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for coming into contact with the hidden quest Take Your Heavenly Spirit and Leave Ghost City. Mission level, S time of mission, 1 year task reward, 1,000 experience, true chi, 10,000 points, special reward of the divine rank secret technique 10,000 ghosts withering wood art. Do you accept? Long Fei did not accept it immediately. He looked at her seriously and said, "You really want to come with me?" "No way. You can't take him away, please, you can't take him away." The beautiful woman became nervous. She hugged the child tightly and said, "Linger can't leave me." "She can't leave me." Linger nodded. "Yes." Long Fei said, "Your mother doesn't agree, but I think we should forget about it. The best person in the world is still your mother, you should stay by her side." The heavenly spirit said, "Mother is good, but I want revenge." The beautiful woman was in tears as she said, "Linger, don't." She looked at her mother and said, "Mother, I will use 10,000 times more pain to pay for what you have endured. I will make all of them beg for death. Evil Qi. It was a very vicious aura. At this moment, even the Yang Huang ancestor who was in closed-door training was shocked. Yang Huang ancestor said, "What a strong evil aura, this brat." Suddenly, an idea from the Yang Huang ancestor appeared out of thin air, wanting to pry into the vicious aura within the heavenly spirit. But right at this moment, the heavenly spirit's eyes opened wide, and it spat out a word in a low voice, "Scram." Boom. The aura of the Yang Huang ancestor was actually blocked by him. Ouch. Yang Huang ancestor was also unhappy, and he said, "I would actually like to see how strong your strength is." Long Fei was a little worried, and said, "Ancestor." Yang Huang ancestor said slightly, "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." In that instant, boom, boom, the space in the sky rumbled like thunder. Layers after layers of bombardment descended, directly crushing the top of the head of the heavenly spirit and directly reaching the deepest part of its mind. A strange light flashed in the sky spirit's eyes. "I told you to get the hell out of my body." Boom, boom. A series of loud sounds reverberated in his body, crazily attacking the idea's power in the Yang Huang ancestor. However, Yang Huang ancestor laughed lightly. "Kid, you dare be arrogant in front of me? Just suppress them." Boom. Another loud sound rang out. The powerful force inside the heavenly spirit's body had been completely crushed. The heavenly spirit's face had also turned extremely pale. Her eyes were staring straight at Long Fei, gritting her teeth. She was extremely unsatisfied. Just like a child losing a fight, he stared at Long Fei and said, "Let me go if you dare." "Let go of you." The old man's breath relaxed. At this moment, the aura on the celestial spirit's body spread out as it formed a pair of claws with purplish-black flames trailing behind it, revealing a few sinister runes on its body. The seal runes that he could not understand at all were covered all over his body and looked extremely sinister. One step forward to attack Long Fei. The beautiful woman exclaimed, "Linger, don't." Chapter 3. Thank you for your powerful daytime firepower support. Thank you. 8_841923565753. Shua. Shua. Long Fei's body directly penetrated through Long Fei's body and started to petrify rapidly, like a burnt coal, and his entire body became stiff. Long Fei had completely lost control of his body. He did not hide. Because the one fighting against the Holy Spirit was not him, but the Yang Huang ancestor. Long Fei slightly said, "Ancestor, can you do it or not? If not, then I will do it. If you destroy my body, then I will not let you off so easily." Seeing his body acting like this, Long Fei was in a bad mood. The heavenly spirit penetrated Long Fei's body, and he laughed sinisterly. "Woo, woo, 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 woo. You're just SOSO. Is that so?" As a voice fell, Long Fei's body moved. Boom. His body charged out from the petrification like a brand new body. With a single step, he landed right on top of the celestial spirit's throat. The Yang Huang ancestor said, "Have you cultivated the ghost vein method well? Then try the power of Emperor Yang Huang." Boom. An incredibly powerful qi rushed out, directly crushing at the sky spirit, causing the qi coming out from his body to disappear completely. The ill intent in his heart was also crushed by the power of Emperor Yang Huang until he couldn't move a muscle. The heavenly spirit was enraged as it roared, "Old ghost, who are you?" Yang Huang ancestor laughed blandly, "Your body of evil originally possessed the power to control the spirit, but you did not go on the road. Instead, you absorbed the yin qi, the baleful qi, and even filled your mind with hostility. You're wrong. This road will only allow you to walk further and further away from it. You still need to turn back and be in a rush." As soon as he finished, the Yang Huang ancestor released a stream of seal for me, Shua. A stream of power of Emperor Yang Huang was in the depths of the Holy Spirit's mind, and had also sealed the evil and ruthless aura inside his body. The aura of the sky spirit changed and returned to normal. Yang Huang ancestor also instantly returned into Long Fei's broken pubes. He let out a light breath and said, "Brat, This child possesses the power of yin fiendish energy and is extremely powerful. He also cultivates the power of 9 stages of the ghost vein art. However, the power in his body will temporarily stop, and in the future, he will become even more powerful. Are you still going to tame him? Yang Huang ancestor asked seriously. Ghost vein method? Long Fei's heart trembled as he thought to himself, I keep having the feeling that I've heard this name somewhere before. However, yes. Long Fei did not hesitate, and said, I must. Even if his body is filled with even more yin energy, I must still submit to him. Such a strong person must submit. Since he was one of the 8 great King Kong, he had to submit. 8 great King Kong Yuling Guardian Warrior. Adding the god, Water King Kong, Holy King Kong, and Demon Subduing Vajra, there were a total of 4 Vajra, 4 Vajra, and 8 Vajra. Long Fei was a little excited. At this moment, Yang Huang ancestor continued, he is more difficult to tame than the previous few. Just the yin energy in his body is already difficult to refine. Once it explodes, he will become uncontrollable like a devil. You better think carefully. If I'm not as good as a demon, I can become a Buddha. Ha ha ha. Long Fei began to laugh, and said, if he didn't have that kind of evil and ruthless aura, I would still reject it. It's him. Who isn't insane in the 8 great Vajra? Li Yuanba was a god power madman. The reincarnation of the Arhat Holy Buddha, but he was directly possessed by the devil. Was he crazy enough? Was the unique domain of the water world of the god, Water King Kong crazy enough? The heavenly spirit, Yuling Guardian Warrior, and body of evil had absorbed the baleful yin energy for 8 whole years in the ghost city. His baleful yin body could be said to be the strongest amongst the 4 of them. Is it crazy? The Chao Heaven sect was extremely powerful, and after 3 years, they would become even more so. If they wanted to stomp him flat, they would have to stomp him to death at 360 degrees. The power of the 8 Vajra was the strongest power. Long Fei would never miss a single one of them. He said to the Yang Huang ancestor, besides, even if is not under our control, don't you still have you? Patriarch. You should have broken through as well, right? Long Fei clearly sensed the power just now. Power of Emperor Yang Huang. This was a power that the Yang Huang ancestor had never released before. This should be the power of the seal in his body, and it had now been refined by him. Yang Huang ancestor laughed out loud and said, that's right, I have absorbed a strand of my power back then. Although it has not been completely refined, it is already much stronger than the previous me. Right now, he had only refined a tiny bit of the power of Emperor Yan Huang's skin. Currently, he was still a remnant soul and could not absorb any more. And then, the Yang Huang ancestor said, for the past year, I have devoured countless of your holy artifact, and it was also the power within those holy artifact that allowed me to refine a little bit of the power of Emperor Yang Huang. An brat, do you want to train my strength? Long Fei laughed, you can slowly refine your strength. I want to walk on my own path of martial arts. It wasn't that he didn't want to. But not. The power of Emperor Yang Huang of the Yang Huang ancestor was definitely extraordinary and incomparably powerful, but it was the power of the Yang Huang ancestor, and it was his own path of martial arts. The path Long Fei took was different from his. So he refused. Yang Huang ancestor laughed and said, I knew it would be like this. I won't make things difficult for you. I know you will not walk my path, but, boy, you don't cultivate my power, but the holy artifact that devours you won't soften my mouth. I need more profound qi from the holy artifact, otherwise, my residual soul would not be able to support the power of Emperor Yang Huang. The Yang Huang ancestor said directly. The power of Emperor Yang Huang was very strong. Once he started refining, he would not be able to stop. He had to absorb even more holy artifact energy to continue refining. Once it stopped, his residual soul would be devoured. Long Fei grinned, relax, follow me, holy artifact. Thief Feng Yi. Thief Feng Yi? What do you mean? Yang Huang ancestor did not understand. Long Fei laughed and said, it's very simple. At this moment, Long Fei moved his body and said, accept the mission. 2 tasks entered the taskbar. Long Fei walked in front of the beautiful woman and said, "He's fine. Big sis. You know that he's a body of evil, so you should also be clear about the evil and ruthless aura in his body. Hand him over to me, I will let him control himself, and he will properly live on. Moreover," Long Fei said with incomparable firmness, "live in that world that belongs to me." Yang. How could she not know about her son's situation? In the end, she gritted her teeth and said, "All right, I beg you, you must take good care of him. He's only a child." Long Fei slightly smiled. "Don't worry, from today onwards, he will be my little brother, my blood brother." Suddenly, the sound of intense footsteps echoed out from the small alley within the courtyard. "It's here." The fourth chapter was sent over. 8_841923565756. It's here. It's here. It wasn't just the evil spirits of the Oxhead gang, but also those of the Horseface Hall. They surrounded the small courtyard. "Bound this courtyard for me. Don't even think about flying away with a fly." The battle just now was enough to shock all the evil spirits around him. Adding on the fight between the Yang Huang ancestor and the heavenly spirit, the disturbance became even louder and was discovered very quickly. In the yard, Long Fei carried the heavenly spirit and carried it on his back, then said to the beautiful woman, "My life is with him, his life is with me, my life is with him, if not, his life will also be with me." The beautiful woman looked at Long Fei. She knew that the only person who could help her son now was the human being in front of her. Because, when she was poisoned to death and left the heavenly spirit in the underworld, he knew that his son was a body of evil. "I know. One day, someone from the human world would enter the underworld and take him away." Although she didn't want this day to come, the yin fiendish aura in her son's body was getting stronger and stronger. If she didn't purify it, then her heavenly spirit would be controlled by this yin fiendish aura. The beautiful woman looked at Long Fei and said, "I'll leave everything to you." Long Fei said, "Don't worry." And then, Long Fei made a grasping motion with his right hand, "Dragon Salia, get out." Shua. As the Dragon Salia fell into his hands, Long Fei gently opened the small courtyard's gate and looked at the alleyway filled with evil spirits, who were flooding in from all directions. Long Fei grinned and laughed. "Seems like I can level up 1 or 2 levels now. Kid. Obediently kneel down and be captured." A leader of the Oxhead gang laughed contemptuously. Long Fei's eyes darkened, his mouth slanted. "Kneel before the 8 generations of your ancestors." Shua. With one step, the Dragon Salia in his right hand suddenly slashed down. Bang! The black blade energy slashed down. The evil ghost's head left its neck. Like the real world, its body did not collapse instantly. Instead, it swayed and spat out a large amount of blood. Instant kill. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing evil spirits for obtaining 100 experience points, True Chi S, 100 points, energy values, 1 point. It was also at this moment. A speck of fluorescent light floated up from the evil ghost's body and was sucked into the unconscious sky spirit. Long Fei did not stop him, but instead laughed out wildly, "You have gone mad to the extreme, and no one in this world dares to call you crazy anymore." At this moment, the evil spirits of the Oxhead gang finally reacted and rushed over. "Kill him! Kill! Kill!" The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up, and with one hand holding onto the Dragon Salia, he rushed forward, raised his blade up and down, and crazily beheaded the dark dragon god on the Dragon Salia's back. Blood splattered everywhere. Dancing death. Screams followed, as if death itself was dancing. The system's notification rang out incessantly. It rang out crazily. In the small alley, blood flowed like a river. Long Fei kept on killing, and the evil spirits kept on charging up, becoming more and more powerful. The more Long Fei killed, the more excited he became. Every time he killed a person, the sky spirit on his back would absorb a little bit of light. From time to time for an entire afternoon, Long Fei killed his way through. The alley was already blocked by piles of corpses. Long Fei watched as they reached the main street, and said to the Holy Spirit on his back, "Let's do it a little more." Shua. With a move of one hand, True Chi was poured into the sword and a blade was raised. A strong gale swept out. Hualala. Shua. Long Fei took a step into the tornado, his body spinning along with it as the true chi combusted crazily, three-rate peerless technique. Open. Boom. With a loud noise, the tornado became even more violent. The dragon Salia in Long Fei's hands continued to wildly kill after he pulled all the evil spirits into it. 1 slash. The 10th slash. 100 slashes. The 1000th blade. The tornado strike was being wildly harvested. At the street entrance. As long as he rushed into the street, with his speed, Long Fei would be able to escape. At this moment. Roar. An incomparably thick power descended from the sky. It bellowed, "Get down." Rumble. He pushed with both palms, unleashing an earth-shattering power that heavily struck the tornado. The tornado that was flying in the sky suddenly stopped, and Long Fei, who was in the eye of the tornado, tightened his face, as he immediately placed the heavenly spirit on his chest, and slammed his back against the tornado. A dozen or so walls and buildings were knocked over consecutively. After killing for an entire afternoon, Long Fei returned to his original place. In the courtyard of the Skysoul Institute. At this time, the beautiful woman was forced into a corner, and a few horsemasked disciples surrounded her with obscene smiles on their faces. "This is the kind of woman I like. It's been a long time since we've had meat. We have to have a good time today. Heh. At this moment. Bang. With a loud sound, Long Fei smashed a wall and smashed it into the courtyard. When the beautiful woman saw Long Fei protecting her son against his chest, her heart was extremely moved, and she was completely at ease with Long Fei. At this time, one of the helpers suddenly turned his head and cursed, "Who the hell dares to seek death, daring to disturb my good fortune?" Not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood and turned around, the dragon Salia in his hand slashed 4 times. The heads of the 4 evil spirits flew straight into the air. Without even looking at it, Long Fei returned the heavenly spirit in his bosom to the beautiful woman, and said, "Take care of him first." In that instant, Long Fei stood in place, the ground cracked, and his entire person flew into the air. He pointed at a black dot in the distance and bellowed, "If you dare to touch me, come again if you dare." Humph. You overestimate yourself. You think you're strong? In my eyes, you're just an ant, I can squeeze you however I want. Before he could finish, the black dot closed in instantly and landed in front of Long Fei. Ox Head. Ghost City Warrior. His eyes were filled with contempt as he sneered, "Brat, just obediently kneel down and accept your death." Boom. A stream of power burst forth from his palm, crushing everything in its path. Once again striking at Xiong Long Fei. Very strong. Very powerful. However, Long Fei did not hesitate at all. Steel mixture. Crack. When Long Fei swallowed the steel mixture pellet, his body suddenly changed dramatically. His original height of 180 centimeters instantly changed to 3 meters, and his forelimbs doubled. His cultivation instantly jumped from the 5th level of the War Master to the 8th level. Continuously rising 3 levels. Long Fei's body was ignited with black flames. This black flames had a unique body that was fused with the darkness energy emitted from the dragon Salia. At the same time, Long Fei roared in his heart, "Heart Sutra, open for me." Rumble. 36O search. Half floating / / equals rumble. His huge body was surrounded by Kitagawa energy. Long Fei smiled, "Do you want to touch me?" Long Fei's huge body moved forward, and directly smashed into Oxhead's palm. Completely ignoring his attack, he grabbed Oxhead's head with his huge hand, and laughed sinisterly. "It's my turn now, right?" Chapter 5. Thank you brothers for your monthly tickets. The C sincerely thanks you. 8_841923565757. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.